So over and over and over again, we're live, and this is the big one. Of course, it's the Europa League semi-final. This is going to be a live watch-along. It's Villarreal versus Arsenal. The nerves are starting to kick in now. We're 15 minutes away from kickoff. We're coming live the other side of this. Hello, how are you doing? Good evening. I'm Richard, and this is over and over and over again. And this is the biggest game Arsenal have played for quite a number of years, isn't it? The semi-final of the Europa League. This is the first leg, of course, away in Valencia. Well, it's Villarreal, but they play in Valencia, don't they? So it's going to be a very, very tense night, I'm sure. Maybe away from home, it suits us. This is your team news, anyway, in case you've missed it earlier. So Arsenal, a couple of surprises maybe in there. But it's Leno in goal after his terrible mistake, of course, in the last game against Everton. Looks like a back four. Chambers holding Mari and Xhaka at left back, although there's rumours that we might be playing a back three and Xhaka in midfield with a three in midfield with Partey and Ceballos. Maybe they're looking at Saka and Smith Rowe playing as wing backs. I'm not sure about that. Odegaard's obviously in the number 10 position, and it's Pepe playing through the middle as a central striker, which seems a little bit strange, maybe, doesn't it? When we've got Martinelli and Nketiah on the bench, and Nketiah maybe wouldn't be good enough for this game, but I certainly feel that Martinelli would have been a good option. But anyway, he's on the bench, maybe come on later. Aubameyang's on the bench as well. There's no Tierney in the squad. I'm not surprised about that. I didn't really believe that he was going to be fit anyway. I thought that was a few mind games from Arteta. But anyway, that's our team. You can see at the Villarreal team. I don't know too much about too many of their players. Obviously, Moreno is their top scorer, 26 goals. He's got Gerrard, number 7, who plays through the middle for them. A very good player. He is, and a winger as well. Chukwueze, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's a very good player as well, and he's going to be coming up against Granit Xhaka if Granit Xhaka is indeed left back. So that could be an interesting matchup. Of course, Capoue as well, who we know played in the Premier League, didn't he? Didn't he play for Tottenham at one point? I know he played for Watford as well. So another player with a bit of Premier League experience. And of course, on the bench for Villarreal tonight, Francis Coquelin, of course, who played for us, didn't he, for a number of years. Back in Arsene Wenger's day, a decent enough player. He had a good season or so, didn't he, at one time? Maybe 2015, I think it was, when he had a really good spell with us. So he's on the bench tonight. So there's a lot of ex-Arsenal kind of things there. So maybe, Unai Emery obviously is going to know how we play. He knows a lot of our players, of course, who were there when he was there. I'm a little bit surprised that Gabriel's only on the bench. Rob Holding's captain as well. I don't know why maybe Granit Xhaka isn't captain, but anyway, we had this problem against Everton in the last game, didn't we? Holding was captain there as well. So, but they're your team lineups for this game. I'm not 100% convinced about the team. I say I would have rather have had an actual striker playing through the middle, or certainly someone who's played there a lot more regularly than Pepe. I know he's done a job there for Lille, didn't he, before he came to Arsenal, but I would have preferred Martinelli maybe as an option there. But I say Martinelli and Aubameyang on the bench. I'm not sure how fit Aubameyang is. That's an issue, isn't it? Probably why he's on the bench as opposed to starting, I would imagine. But it's a semi-final Europa League. It's a massive game. And of course, from Arsenal's point of view, it's an all or nothing, isn't it, these next two games? I personally feel as though we have to get a positive result tonight. Our home form is so poor. We haven't won at home for 5 games, and I think it's going to be very difficult to go through at home if we haven't got a decent result tonight. So I'll be looking at, obviously, trying to win this game would be ideal. And of course, we did go out of Europe last year having won the away leg first against Olympiacos, if you remember. But I certainly feel we need to score a goal or two. I'll take a high-scoring draw and maybe try and get a low-scoring draw next week, maybe. But Villarreal have got a threat going forward, certainly. I say Moreno with 26 goals. Alcácer as well He scored 6 goals in the Europa League this season, so they've got a threat definitely going forward. I don't think it's our strongest defence, is it? David Luiz is on the bench, Gabriel's on the bench. They're maybe the two go-to guys, I would say, in the back four. But anyway, this is the team that we've got, and we've got to go with it. It's not that dissimilar, is it, to the team that started last week? Certainly defensively, it's the same, and in midfield, it's just obviously Odegaard's back in, and Pepe's playing through the middle in place of Nketiah, of course, from the Everton game. That didn't really work, did it, Nketiah, unfortunately, and it hasn't really worked with him. And I say not having Lacazette or Aubameyang fit enough to start is a big problem, isn't it? And you can see, when we have got a few players out, as we have at the moment with Tierney, with Aubameyang, with Lacazette, you can see that the squad is thin on the ground in certain positions, isn't it? And this is where we need to improve for next season if we're going to do better. Yes, Arteta's got to improve as well. If he gets an opportunity next season, I think a lot will depend on how these next 2 games go, and then hopefully the final as well. But we'll see what happens. I mean, you can only pick the players that are available, I guess, and you can't, argue too much with the team lineup. Just at one position, I'm a little bit surprised about Pepe through the middle, but I suppose it's a Man City thing, isn't it? Playing without a recognised striker, it works for them. I suppose they've got slightly better players than us, but we've got some good attacking players playing tonight, haven't we? Odegaard's back, which is good to see. He's had a really good impact, hasn't he, in his time at Arsenal so far. Saka as well, of course, just won the London Young Player of the Year, didn't he? Which is a fantastic achievement for him in his first real full season playing regular. I know he was in the squad last season as well, but this is his first full season, isn't it? In the squad every week, playing nearly every game. So that's a great achievement for him to get the London Young Player of the Year. And of course, Smith Rowe as well, who's had a massive impact in the team, hasn't he? Certainly since Christmas, when he got back into the side following injuries and stuff like that. So, we have got 4 players there in Odegaard, Pepe, Saka and Smith Rowe who are going to be a threat going forward. Certainly, we know what Arsenal were like when Unai Emery was our coach in terms of defensively. We wasn't great. We conceded a lot of goals. And I think it's going to be, this team looks similar looking at their record in the league this season. So I think their defence can be got at. I think our defence can be got at. So I think there could be goals, actually. I think it could be quite an open game. What we've got to remember as well is, of course, Unai Emery's great record in his competition. He's won, 4 semi-finals in a row, hasn't he, that he's been in his competition previously. And of course, when he was with us, the semi-final that he won with us was against one of his former clubs in Valencia, wasn't it? So he's got the opportunity again against one of his former clubs tonight. So history, maybe on that sense, isn't really on our side. Neither is our poor European record, although we have actually won 7 of our previous 9 European semi-finals that we've been in. So our record in semi-finals certainly isn't that bad. Our last semi-final defeat, of course, came in this competition 3 years ago, 2018. Also in Spain, actually, wasn't it, when Atletico beat us 1-0 in the second leg after we had drawn 1-1 at home. So this is our 3rd semi-final in a row in Europe against Spanish opposition as well. We won 1 and lost 1 out of the previous 2. So let's hope that we can, we've got a good record against Villarreal previously, haven't we? We beat them in the semi-final 2006 in the Champions League, and we beat them in the quarterfinals of the Champions League in 2009. They've only ever scored 1 goal against us in those previous 4 matches as well. That was in a 1-1 draw here in 2009. So we've got a good record against this opposition, but Emery's the man, isn't he, in this competition as well? So it's going to be interesting. Terry's in the chat. How you doing, Terry? Thanks for tuning in. He said, evening, Richard. Don't feel very confident, but fingers crossed. Enjoyed your old videos. No, I'm glad you enjoyed them, yeah. I said I was going to do a little bit more on the history of the club, but I personally think it's really important because you can't understand where we are now unless you really understood where we've come from. I think we're a similar age, aren't we, Terry? So we kind of grew up in the same kind of era. My first experience of watching Arsenal live was in the early 80s. Wasn't a great time, was it? But, to get to that point, we've gone through a lot of great successes previously. So I think it's important to know about the club. And I'll always put history videos on as well. So if that's something that does interest you guys watching, please subscribe to the channel because I will be doing a lot more of that lately. And there's some good stuff planned for the next few weeks as well, certainly for stuff from Arsenal's history and their great history it is as well. Let's not forget, we've been one of the biggest clubs in world football, one of the biggest names in world football, aren't we? And although at the moment things aren't going that well, are they? Certainly we look at the league table, but it doesn't take away the history of this great club, does it? And it's why so many people all around the world love Arsenal, and this is so important. So I'll always keep doing stuff like that, and I'm glad people like yourself, Terry, and I know others as well, have enjoyed that, and I will keep producing some historic videos as well as all the current stuff as well. Like tonight, of course, the big game. So our biggest game. I can't remember too many games with more riding on it than this one, and well, the two legs in this competition now. I know we've been in this. We were in the final, wasn't we, 2 years ago? And yes, there was a lot riding on that after we blew it in the league to finish in the top four. But I think it's even more important now with where we are in the league, the finances over the last year, with the restrictions on no fans in the stadium. I think this is probably more important now this year than it has been previously to make sure we're in Europe next season. To be in the Champions League would be a massive boost for the club. Ender's in the chat. What are you doing, Ender? Thanks for tuning in. Not exactly, he says he's not overly confident, but 1-1. I mean, 1-1 wouldn't necessarily be a bad result, but we are very poor at home. That's the thing that worries me. And if it was only 1-1, you could see them coming to the Emirates next week and scoring at least one. And have we got it in us to get 2 goals or 3 goals next week? I'd rather we try and score maybe 2 tonight. I'd rather a 2-2 draw, if I'm honest, and then a 1-1 draw next week, maybe, if it's got to be. But I'm not overly confident. I've got to agree with you there, Ender. I'm not at all. Looking at our lineup doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence. But then I wasn't massively confident going into the Zagreb game away from home in the last round. And look what happened that night. We won 4-0. So I'm not expecting anything like that, of course, tonight. But you never know. We'll have to see what happens. And it says he'd love a 2-2. No, I would as well. Yeah, that wouldn't actually be a bad result. Obviously, if we can't win the game, let's at least make sure that we do score a goal or 2. And I think that'll be massively important going into next week. The teams are currently in the tunnel, just about to come out. Arsenal are wearing the blue kit. I've gone a bit retro tonight with my shirt choice, just because, part of the kind of protest against the owners and stuff like that. I have got the new shirt, obviously, but I can't do anything about that now. But I don't need to wear it and promote it, so I'm going to stick with this shirt from, I think it was about 2008, this one, wasn't it? Something like that. Always liked this kit anyway, so I'm quite happy to wear it, wearing the blue, and of course the Bergkamp shirt in the background as well. Of course Bergkamp could be one of the guys coming in to take over the club, possibly, if all of this ever happens, which again, a bit like this match, I'm not overly confident that that's going to happen either. But anyway, we'll see. Obviously Villarreal are in there, all yellow kit, of course, the yellow submarine, as they're known as. I say it's our 3rd visit to this stadium. We've drawn the previous 2, actually, a 0-0 and a 1-1. So maybe going on that, perhaps a 2-2 is the next step, isn't it, in the route? But anyway, we'll see what happens. The players, I say, are in a tunnel, just about to come out onto the pitch. They've got some, plastic fans, if you like, on the seats, cardboard fans in some of the stands to make it look like there's a crowd in, which is a nice touch. Reminds me back at the Arsenal mural at the North Bank, of course, back in the day when the North Bank was being redeveloped, 1992. That's first season of the Premier League when Arsenal couldn't score for ages, could we, in front of that mural end at that particular time. But it's Rob Holding who's going to be leading Arsenal out, actually, the captain again for the 2nd game in a row. Obviously, with Aubameyang not starting, with Bellerin not starting, Lacazette. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting night, I'm sure, very tense. But the players are now just about to come out. I don't know if we're running a bit late, are they, or is my coverage slightly behind? Just let me check and see if it is. But anyway, it is what it is. But I've got it, thanks to Ender again for that, mate. Very much appreciated. Anyway, Villarreal coming out first, saying the all yellow kit, and then Arsenal coming out behind them, being led by Rob Holding. And we'll have to see how Arsenal exactly line up. We've had different rumours that it's a 3 at the back with Chambers, Holding and Mari, or it's a 4 at the back with Chambers at right back and Xhaka at left back. So we'll have to see once the game starts exactly how we are lined up in that way. But I don't know, maybe the back 3 might work out better. We don't really want Xhaka up against that winger, do we? Chukwueze or whatever, however you pronounce his name. I apologise if I've got that wrong. Very, very quick winger. So, do we really want Xhaka up against him? I would say probably not. Saka might be a better bet, but then we'll lose that threat going forward with Saka playing at left back or whatever. So it's a tough one. And, that's why Arteta gets paid what he gets paid, because he has to make these decisions. And let's hope he's made the right one today. But we'll see exactly how we line up very, very shortly. And of course, there are, say, one or two familiar faces in the Villarreal side. Of course, Capoue being the main one, and I say Coquelin on the bench. Francis Coquelin. I quite liked him for Arsenal. He did a decent job for us. Seem to remember the run to the 2015 FA Cup. He had a really good few games there, didn't he, for us? And I'm sure Etienne Capoue, of course, used to play for Tottenham. He will be keen to do well against us tonight, won't he? And try and make a difference for them in the centre and midfield. Of course, it'll be him against Thomas Partey, won't it? That will probably be the match-up there, I think. That's going to be interesting as well to see how that kind of plays out. One of the many battles that we're going to see tonight, aren't we, in this first leg. Be interesting to see exactly how Emery sets his team up. If you remember, when he was at Arsenal, that semi-final, we were at home in the first leg against Valencia, and we actually went a goal down quite early on in that game. And then we came back to win 3-1. So we didn't start particularly well. It'll be interesting to see how he starts this game, Unai Emery's team, and also what Mikel Arteta's tactics are. The TV have got the three at the back with Saka and Smith Rowe as the two wing backs, Saka on the left and Smith Rowe on the right. I'll be surprised if that is how he line up, but that's what the TV says. I suppose they would have spoke to Arteta maybe. Not that he ever gives too much away, does he? Trying to pretend that Kieran Tierney was going to start this game, for example. But anyway, once we've kicked off and we're up and running, I'll be able to give you a little bit more information about exactly how we are lined up in terms of the formation. But anyway, so Arsenal saying the blue kit, there's an embrace there between the two coaches, of course. Apparently, that was a surprising bit of news, wasn't it, when Arteta said that Unai Emery spoke to him when he first got the job to give him some advice, which was nice of him, actually. Obviously, two Spaniards, I guess they probably know each other from through their careers before anyway. But that was a nice touch, actually. So, I think Unai Emery was maybe a bit harshly treated at Arsenal. But anyway, let's hope it's not a good evening for him tonight. We are just about to kick off. I say Villarreal in the yellow kits out. They're attacking the goal to our left. So they're attacking. They're sort of playing from right to left. Arsenal in all blue, attacking the goal to our right in his first half. Arsenal are taking a knee with a referee, but Villarreal players are not. There must be a different thing in Spain. In fact, in the Europa League, I don't think it's been. I don't seem to remember too many other teams doing it in the Europa League. But anyway, Villarreal have kicked off and looking to get an attack going straight away. But Arsenal pick up the ball with Thomas Partey, and he finds Rob Holding there. He plays the ball up the line, looking for Saka, but it's gone out for a throw to Villarreal deep inside their half. Just trying to really look at our formation, actually, to see exactly how we are lined up. At the moment, is because the ball's deep in the Villarreal half, it's hard to know exactly what our formation is. But Villarreal actually playing it out from the back and doing it quite successfully, actually. I seem to remember us doing that when Unai Emery was with us and not always doing it quite as well as they just did there. But anyway, Xhaka there looks like he has started in the left-back position, actually, with Ceballos and Thomas Partey and Ødegaard maybe as a midfield three almost, and Saka and Smith Rowe really pushing on. Actually, Pepe's supposed to be through the middle, but he's kind of gone over out to the left-hand side. So we haven't really got anybody through the centre at the minute. I don't know if this is a tactic to maybe confuse Villarreal, but anyway, the ball's currently in the middle of the pitch. And we've got Brett in the chat there. He says he doesn't know what's more boring, watching Arsenal or watching me talking about Arsenal playing. Well, yeah, it's probably a tough choice, Brett, actually. But hope you're fit for Saturday, by the way. Hope your hamstring's all right, mate. Because we're a bit short of numbers, aren't we, by all accounts? But it's going to be that'll be a tough game, that actually. But anyway, we'll worry about that after this because. This is a little bit more important than what it is at the moment. On Saturday morning, it won't be because it'll all be over and done with. But anyway, there's a bit of a hold-up in play at the moment. The ball to the Villarreal goalkeeper. I'm not quite sure what happened there. I was distracted. But anyway. So Brett says he should be good and ready. Good. That's good news because I say we need you on Saturday, definitely, mate. So let's hope your hamstring holds up more than 5 minutes, or didn't even make that last week, did it, unfortunately? But anyway, so Villarreal again are in possession inside their own half, again playing it around at the back. Ball's played out to the far side. Arsenal actually, Xhaka there's this one. The boy, it looks like Xhaka is playing at left back. It looks like it is a back four, despite the news coming up that it was back three. But anyway, I would have been surprised if it was a back three. We've not played that system for a long time, have we? So, but anyway, we'll see how the game kind of pans out, really. I suppose we can be quite flexible. Some of our players are quite adaptable, different positions, aren't they? Particularly Bukayo Saka, of course, as we know. But it's almost as though we haven't got a centre forward at all. Pepe actually is over on the left-hand side. Saka's on the right. And Smith Rowe and Odegaard are kind of in the middle. But neither seem to be... We don't seem to be playing with a striker at all, which is a little bit unsettling, actually. He might be all right for Man City fans. They might be used to it. But I'm finding this quite difficult to get my head around at the moment. But anyway, if it works, then Arteta's a genius and that's fine. But if it doesn't, then we'll have to see. But anyway, Arsenal currently in possession. Dani Ceballos threads the ball through to Smith Rowe, who finds Saka out on this near touchline, and then back to Odegaard. And the ball is back currently with Mari. He finds Xhaka. Chambers is quite well forward on the right-hand side, actually, but the ball's gone all the way back to Bernd Leno. Of course, there's going to be a lot of spotlight on Bernd Leno tonight, isn't there? After that terrible mistake he made against Everton in our last game last Friday. So he needs to have a solid game today. But Callum Chambers has just been robbed of the ball there. Villarreal are pressing us quite high, actually, quite early. And they just won the ball back there. But it's back with the Villarreal goalkeeper. I quite like the pictures of the fans, actually, the sort of cardboard fans covering the seats, which, as I say, it looks quite cool. It does look as though there's fans in the stadium, although, of course, clearly there isn't. But apparently there might be for the final of this competition, we're being told. But we'll see what happens with that. But some of the restrictions put on place in that doesn't make it seem like a lot of fun. But anyway, this is an opportunity for Villarreal. Shot comes in, they've scored. 4.5 minutes gone. First shot at goal and Villarreal have scored. It's Trigueros who scored, a midfield player. Not a celebration from Unai Emery, actually. But not a great start from Arsenal. That's actually the first time. Oh, the score's wrong there. Sorry, I prepared that earlier. It was down Arsenal's left-hand side. It came like maybe a hint of offside, but not with the player who got the ball. The ball just falls into the penalty area. The winger there can't cut through the Arsenal two defenders there, Xhaka and Ceballos, cut straight through both of them. And I say it fell to Trigueros, who has smashed it in. There was a little celebration from Emery, but it was quite reserved, actually. No running up and down the touchline as he did, of course, against Valencia that time. But anyway, it is 1-0 to Villarreal. This wasn't the start that we needed. That was the first was the first shot on target for me, first shot of goal from either team. 4.5 minutes. Not ideal start at all. Ultimately, it doesn't make a lot of difference to the overall picture, does it? Because, you know, an away goal is still going to, for us, is still going to be a good essential anyway now. But, you know, we needed to score an away goal or two anyway, and it hasn't really changed that. But goals do change the complexion of the game, don't they? And we're not playing for centre forward, and we're now 1-0 down, which is a little bit worrying. But anyway, to be fair, Villarreal have moved the ball around quite nicely in these opening minutes, giving us a lot of problems. Thomas Partey there gets stuck in the midfield, wins the ball. That was nice play, actually. Pretty aggressive. And it's the winger again, Chukwuemeka, who set up the goal, who's again trying to cause problems. His pace and trickery is causing, as I say, has caused us a few issues already in his first sort of 6 minutes, 7 minutes played. It's not really the ideal start. And I say it's Trigueros, who apparently got sent off at the weekend against Barcelona. But not been a good start from Arsenal at all. Villarreal have started really quickly, actually. But anyway, Arsenal now looking to get a foothold in this semi-final. Callum Chambers now coming forward down this near side, finds Saka out on the touchline, who cuts in a little bit, finds Odegaard. The problem's going to be, without a recognised centre forward, how we approach this. Anyway, Pepe's now moved into the centre forward position, so maybe those front three are going to keep interchanging. Saka, Pepe, and Smith Rowe. At the moment, Pepe has gone into a central position with Smith Rowe more over on the left-hand side. Of course, he's played on the left, hasn't he? But in a few games recently, Smith Rowe. So that may be a better way to set up anyway. It looked like Pepe was over on that side at the start. But anyway, Arsenal are just trying to get a foothold in the game, ping a few passes around at the back, try and settle down. And now Mari goes long, but it was too long. It's gone all the way through to the goalkeeper. He was looking for Smith Rowe, actually, but it was far too straight to pass and far too overhit. And the goalkeeper, Rulli, for Villarreal, comfortably gathered that ball. And he's now just dribbling it out towards the edge of the area. Arsenal aren't putting him under any pressure at all, actually. This seems to be a tactic. I don't know at what point we're going to start pressing. Saka tries to press and it goes back to the goalkeeper. But there's no... So Arsenal aren't pressing very high up the pitch at all. I'm not quite sure why. But anyway, it's a long ball out of defence there from Villarreal. It was flicked on by Moreno, who's quite deep, actually. Their top scorer, 26 goals he's got this season. And this time they're coming forward down this near side with Pedraza, the fullback, but his cross was in low at the near post, and Leno in his pink top has gathered it. Or is it orange, maybe? The referee's in pink, isn't he? So it's probably an orange top. Might just be the colour contrast on the TV. Anyway, Thomas Partey now is coming forward for Arsenal, but finds Odegaard, who's fouled, and it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. In fact, it was a goal scorer, Trigoros, who made the foul. Man United have scored. They're 1-0 up as well at home in their semi-final. Bruno Fernandes, it was, with the goal after 9 minutes for Manchester United. So they've got the start that Villarreal have got, haven't they? But long way to go yet. Let's nowhere near time to panic, is it? We just need to keep our stuff together and just play our way into the game. That's obviously a bit of a setback, but I say the overall scheme of things, it's not the end of the world, is it? Going 1-0 down so early in the away leg of a European tie, we still need to try and score a goal, which we wanted to try and do anyway. But yeah, it wasn't a great goal from our point of view, but it was playing out from the back, actually, from Villarreal, which I say is what Emery tried to do with us a few times and didn't manage it, did he? Some of our players wasn't maybe good enough. I say it was the winger, Chukwueze, who cut through two challenges and the ball fell kindly to Trigueros, who smashed it into the far corner past Burnt Leno. Didn't have a chance with that at all. And actually the yellow shirts are swarming all over us, but they've just given the ball away there. But again, every time we get the ball, there's 2 or 3 yellow shirts around us looking to try to win it back. They're certainly showing good energy at the moment. And they've just given away a free kick, actually, in midfield. A foul on Dani Ceballos. In fact, it seemed like the foul was the other way. In fact, it was given to Arsenal. But when you look at the replay, it looked as though Ceballos had fouled the Villarreal player. But anyway, Rob Holding, who's captain tonight, of course, plays the ball all the way back to Burnt Leno, just outside the Arsenal penalty area. It's not been a great start this from Arsenal at all. We're getting hemmed in and pinned back by the yellow shirts. And Xhaka tries to play out from the back, and it went straight to a yellow shirt again. But Arsenal now coming forward. Rob Holding finds Callum Chambers on this near side. We haven't got going in an attacking sense at all yet in this game. But then without a recognised striker, I guess that's not really a surprise. I'm sure there'll be, if it stays like this in the second half, I'm sure we'll see players like Aubameyang and Martinelli coming on. But Thomas Partey there's gave the ball away, a simple pass out to the near side. He overhit it. It's gone out for a throw. Not great play from him, unfortunately, and sums up much of his season with us so far, doesn't it? Unfortunately. But anyway, it's going to be a throw to Villarreal midway inside their own half, which the fullback Pedraza is going to take. Wearing number 24 for the Spaniards. Again, they've done well in midfield, actually. Moreno was just crowded out, but he has managed to win a throw inside his own half. Gerard Moreno. Of course, they've got another Moreno as well on the bench, Villarreal, the one who used to play for Liverpool. If you remember, the left back who's wasn't particularly good, was he, for Liverpool? But anyway, he's on the bench for Villarreal. I seem to remember actually when Unai Emery was at Arsenal, he was after signing him. But anyway, Saka now on his right hand side. Can Arsenal get going in an attacking sense in this game? Saka by the corner flag, cuts back inside, plays the ball back to Ødegaard. He's got Chambers behind him. Can Chambers whip a ball in? He's put some good crosses in, hasn't he, in recent games? Instead, he goes square to Partey and he goes square to Mari, all the way across to Granit Xhaka now into Pepe, who's dropped deep to receive the ball, goes back to Mari. It's the best spell of possession Arsenal have had actually. Now, can we get something going in a forward sense there? Dani Ceballos finds Thomas Partey. Nice little exchange of passes in the middle. A nice quick 1-2 between Smith Rowe and Ødegaard. It now falls to Saka. Saka switches it over to the far side towards Pepe. That's a good touch. He's just on the edge of the penalty area out on the far left-hand side. Goes past the defender. Can he get across in? A good tackle actually there. Really, really good tackle there from, is it Torres? It wasn't actually, it was Forth. Is he not the one who plays for Tottenham as well? Defender, Forth. Anyway, I'm not sure if it's the same one. But there was a good tackle actually there on Pepe, just on the edge of the penalty area. Broke up that particular Arsenal attack, and we haven't actually laid a glove on the Villarreal defence so far in this game. Nearly 14 minutes played. It is Villarreal 1, Arsenal 0. The only shot on goal so far came from Trigueros for Villarreal, which actually Roma have just equalised at Old Trafford. So it's 1-1 there. They've got an away goal. Now it's our job to get an away goal as well. Callum Chambers there just tackled a Villarreal player who claimed it was a foul, but the referees allowed play to go on. The Villarreal player is still down. I'm not sure who that is. It might be... I'm not sure who it is. But anyway, Arsenal currently in possession in the middle of the pitch with Thomas Partey. Plays it out to this near side to Callum Chambers. I think the Villarreal player is back on his feet now. Partey there finds Smith Rowe. Back to Dani Ceballos. Threads the ball through over to that far side to Nicolas Pepe. This is looking good from Arsenal. The defender slips. Pepe drills it into the near post. Good defending, actually. I think that was Capoue in there. Another former Tottenham player. Good bit of defending that was there. Good ball in, actually, from Pepe towards the near post into that dangerous area. Any touch there from an Arsenal player could have resulted in a goal. Callum Chambers whips the ball in again. Comes to Smith Rowe on the far side. His touch maybe takes it just slightly away from him. But Xhaka's now got it, plays it back to Smith Rowe. There's a lot of yellow shirts between Arsenal and the goal. They need to try and get through. Thomas Partey, 35 yards out. Is he going to try a shot? No, he plays it to the near side to Ødegaard. He's got Saka outside him. No, he hasn't. It's Chambers, sorry. He was out of the picture there, so I couldn't see who it was. Ødegaard there plays it back to Rob Holding. So Arsenal have enjoyed a little bit more possession in the last 2 or 3 minutes, but it's all mainly been in front of Villarreal at the moment. But this is a bit better. Saka into the penalty area from Chambers' pass, but just the defender did well actually there. Torres, that time it was, defended well. Oh, that looked like a foul actually from Chambers earlier on, further up the pitch, which wasn't given, which referee didn't give to Villarreal. And then it did lead to this Arsenal attack in the end. In fact, it does look like the guy who played for Tottenham. He's playing at right back for them, actually, tonight. Foyth, who I say, unless it's his brother, he looks very similar to the guy that played for Tottenham. I don't know if any of you guys know if he is the Tottenham guy or a brother of his. But anyway, that was a good tackle he just did on Pepe, actually, which I'm sure he didn't do too much of that when he played for Tottenham, did he? But anyway, Chambers now on his near side. Arsenal looking to try to get this away goal. Still plenty of time. It's only 16 and a half minutes played, so I don't need to panic or anything yet. But it hasn't been the best start from Arsenal. But we are starting to get a foothold in this game now. Dani Ceballos actually does really well in the centre of the pitch. Finds Ødegaard. That's a good ball. Finds Saka just inside the penalty area. Saka dinks the ball towards the far post, but there's no Arsenal player there. A yellow head gets it away. I think it was Forth again, actually. And now they can clear it further up the pitch. It goes into the Arsenal half. Rob Holding actually makes a mess of that clearance under pressure from Moreno. They're both battling for the ball. And it is going to be an Arsenal throw, is it? Rob Holdings took it, but I think the linesman's given it to Villarreal. I think Holding was looking to pass the ball back to the goalkeeper there, Leno, but he didn't really get hold of it at all. And put under pressure from Moreno. And Enders in the chat there says, "Don't panic, Captain Mannering." Well, it's not time to panic yet, is it? But it hasn't been the greatest of starts, has it? Let's face it. Villarreal have looked in control so far, comfortable at the back, really defended well, and they've managed to get the goal as well. So we've got a lot of work to do, not only in this game tonight, but obviously in next week's game as well. By the look of it, they're an organised team, Villarreal. They look strong in all departments, so we'll have to see how it goes. But currently it's Villarreal in possession inside the centre circle. Game's actually almost at walking pace there for a minute. It's Capoue now, of course, got a lot of Premier League experience, of course, played against Arsenal quite a lot in his career for Tottenham and Watford. Seem to remember, I don't know if he played for anyone else in the Premier League, did he? But he definitely played for those two clubs against us a few times. A solid player, wasn't he, actually? I'm assuming I'm sure he was at Watford last season, wasn't he, when they got relegated? So he must have just joined Villarreal this season. Seems as though maybe Villarreal have bought the players that Unai Emery wanted, because I seem to remember there was talk of maybe Capoue coming to Arsenal at one point. I don't know if it was when Emery was here. Anyway, Pepe there down that left-hand side. He's held up, but the ball looking for him again from Ceballos, but it's overhit. It's gone out for another goal kick. We're just not quite getting our passes right in the final third yet. We were overhitting things a little bit too much. They're just showing a goal again. Again, it was Granit Xhaka. Tried to see him inside. Well, it didn't actually work because he did go inside, but the ball fell kindly to Trigueros. And that's the early goal. And that so far is the only difference between the two sides. But Arsenal certainly enjoyed a lot more possession in the last 10 minutes. We come back towards the midway point in the first half, nearly 20 minutes played. Villarreal now coming forward again down that far side. They're right. Pepe and Xhaka are actually facing up. Chukwueze, I can't say his name right, I do apologise. But anyway, Villarreal are coming forward inside the middle of the pitch in the centre circle, but it's played back actually to Torres. And now it's with Prageo. I'm struggling with some of these names, I must admit, but anyway. I know Capoue though, because obviously he has played in the Premier League, so I might just stick with him. Every time he gets the ball, I'll tell you it's him, because the others I'm struggling with, apart from Moreno. Anyway, Enders just updated us here. He says 1-1 Roma. Yeah, I heard that before. Yeah, 1-1 Roma. So they've got the away goal. It's just up to us now to get an away goal as well, isn't it? But actually, Villarreal coming forward again. Actually, it was Pedraza, the left back, who's got forward quite well actually so far in this opening 20 minutes. Drilled a cross in there, and Rob Holding cleared it away. It's a throw in to Villarreal, this near side, which Pedraza's going to take actually himself. He's got a new ball off the stand. It's gone out for another throw to Villarreal. But so far, Villarreal have looked pretty comfortable. They're playing at quite a slow pace. We're not putting them under any real pressure at all. We're not closing them down particularly early. And we're just allowing them to knock the ball around. And they're coming forward again now. Again down this near side with Pedraza, faced by Callum Chambers. He is forced back actually. And it comes back to Trigueros, of course, who scored the goal. That's good play by Moreno. Tried to drill a cross in from this near side, the Villarreal left, but Thomas Partey was in the way. And it's gone out for a throw again to Villarreal. This is a very advanced position, actually, just in from the corner flag on this near side. It's going to be Perejo to take this. I don't know if he's got a long throw, maybe. It's a corner in actual fact. That's why I'm sorry. It's a corner. It looked like it'd been a throw. It has gone out for a corner on this near side. It's the first corner of the game, actually, I believe. But anyway, it's a dangerous one in towards the 6-yard box, but Arsenal just about deal with it. And now, can there be a counter attack? Erdegaard, Pepe's gone sprinting ahead of him, and he's found Dani Ceballos, who does well. Tries to thread the ball through to Pepe, but the goalkeeper's out quickly outside his area. It wasn't a great ball from Ceballos, if we're totally honest. And the goalkeepers come out of his area and kicked it away deep into the Arsenal half, but it was almost a chance for a counter attack. Then actually, it was a good opportunity. Ceballos did well initially, but the ball through to Pepe was overhit again, and we've done that a few times with our forward passing tonight so far. We haven't quite got it right, have we? But anyway, it is midway. We are midway through the first half now, and it is Villarreal 1, Arsenal 0. That very, very early goal after 4.5 minutes it was from Trigueros. And I say Villarreal have been fairly comfortable so far. They'll be delighted, actually. Emery will be delighted with how this game's gone up till now, for sure. And we've not done anywhere near enough to put them under pressure. But, it's, I suppose, a semi-final over 2 legs is a marathon, not a sprint, isn't it? So it's not necessarily how you start, it's how you finish. But we certainly need to do better in this game. And I do think we are going to have to score, certainly with our home form the way it is. But this is a good play, actually, by Villarreal down this near side. But the fullback, Pedraza, couldn't keep that in. And it's gone out for a throw to Arsenal. But that was nice play, actually, from Villarreal. And so they have started this game well. They're not doing particularly well in the league, are they? They're in seventh place. They haven't had too many wins recently. I know they lost to Barcelona at the weekend, which, is not exactly a disaster, is it? They only lost 2-1. Their home form's been pretty poor like ours, actually, as well. So Arsenal actually play themselves out of trouble quite well there. Odegaard now, we're still deep inside our half, but he switches the ball to Granit Xhaka, plays it outside to Nicolas Pepe, who's out on that far side, Arsenal's left. Plays the ball across the box towards Odegaard. Nearly slips over, but keeps it moving to Saka just inside the area. Saka tries to curl the ball to the far post, but he got too much on it. I don't know if he was looking for a shot there to curl it in at the far post or if he was looking for a cross, but it was a good ball from Odegaard. Saka cut inside onto his left foot. I think it was a shot he was going for, actually, but he got it all wrong. Went too high and wide. But at least it's an effort on goal from Arsenal, the first one that we've mustered, actually, in the first 25 minutes. We need to get Odegaard and Smith Rowe on the ball a little bit more and try and look at getting Saka in behind or Pepe, but so far it hasn't worked at all well, has it? And again, Villarreal are playing it out from the back. This is maybe the Unai Emery style that we're seeing from Villarreal, that he maybe wanted to try and get going at Arsenal, but it never quite worked. Certainly not consistently enough, and maybe that was down to the personnel. Maybe it was down to lack of communication. Obviously, he's going to communicate better with a lot of these players. There's a lot of Spaniards in this team for Villarreal, so you can see that maybe that might be why it's working better with them than it did with us. But anyway, again, Villarreal are in possession. Again, it's the left back, Pedraza, who's done well actually so far for Villarreal. He's almost playing the Kieran Tierney type role, isn't he? Getting forward well down that left-hand side. And he's defended well when he's had to as well. Of course, we're missing Kieran Tierney, aren't we, still, with injury, despite Mikel Arteta's insistence that he was in contention. Well, in contention, he said, along with Lacazette, but neither of them are in the squad. So I don't know how much contention they were in. I'm sure if they were in any way near being able to play, they would have at least been on the bench like Aubameyang is, and David Luiz as well. I just found it interesting from the pictures that you saw from training that Tierney and Lacazette, you didn't see any picture of them actually involved in any of the play. Looked like they were maybe training on their own, which suggested to me they wasn't going to be fit enough to play. David Luiz was, though, and Aubameyang, and they are on the bench, so I think that kind of maybe did give it away. But anyway, it's a free kick to Villarreal at the moment, which Pedraza is going to take. Parejo, actually. It's a dangerous ball, actually, towards a penalty spot. I think it was Rob Holding got his head to it, but we haven't really cleared it away. But we do now. That was good play by Ceballos, actually, inside the penalty area. And now Saka on his near side, but he loses out, actually, to Pedraza, who's actually gone down. I don't know if he's a second. Was he down just a minute ago as well? He's holding his side. It was good play, actually, from Dani Ceballos there in the penalty area when Villarreal were threatening a second goal. But the left back there for Villarreal has got to his feet again, and it is going to be a throw. That was Rob Holding with the initial header away, and then the ball came back in. Was I looking at a handball there against Saka inside the penalty area? He did go into the back there of Pedrosa. But anyway, Arsenal now looking to build an attack themselves. It is with Saka on this near side, coming in towards the penalty area. Plays ball back to Odegaard on his box. Going to get a shot away. Comes to Thomas Partey, and once again, it's a Thomas Partey shot that goes about 20 miles over the crossbar. I don't know how many of them he's done this season since he's arrived at Arsenal, but it must be in double figures now. Every single one of them shots from the edge of the box is getting further and further away from the goal, and that one there would have ended up in the upper tier probably if it wasn't for if there was actually empty seats. We wouldn't have seen that ball again. But anyway, again, Villarreal are very comfortable playing out from the back, aren't they? But then we're not really pressuring them too much. Again, it's that full-back, left-back coming forward. But this time, Thomas Partey does his defensive duties well and holds him off. But Dani Ceballos overruns the ball in midfield. And Villarreal can come forward again. Again, it's the left-back's through now inside the penalty area. Can he pick our player out? He tried to find a cross, but it's come off Callum Chambers. And it's going to go out for a corner to Villarreal. Every time they attack, they're looking dangerous. They're ripping us to pieces at times. Our shape is very, very poor defensively. Well, I say both wings. The goal came from their right, but it's been down the left where they've attacked more actually with the fullback Pedraza, who's actually probably been their most effective player in this opening 25 minutes or so. It's a second corner now to Villarreal. The first one was a decent ball actually, which we just about managed to deal with. Again, it's going to be Parejo who's going to take it for Villarreal. Again, it's in towards the 6-yard box, a free header, and they've scored again. Is that going to count, or was he offside? No, it's going to count. It's Albiol, the defender. Actually, Henry's just sitting there. He's not really celebrating at all. But again, it was some poor defending. It was the corner came and it was flicked on a free header from about 6 yards out. I don't know who was meant to be picking him up. It was a free header, and around the back came the defender, Albiol, who couldn't really miss. He's nowhere near offside. A free header from 6 yards, and it was turned in. It was actually Moreno with the header. A free header from 6 yards. They unmarked completely. I think he was going for goal, but it wasn't going in. The defender round the far stick. Albiol tucked it in, and Arsenal now are in big trouble. Really, really big trouble in this game. We haven't played well at all in these opening half an hour. Villarreal fully deserved their 2-0 lead. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Poor defending from Arsenal, but I suppose the beauty in a way of these two-legged ties is a goal from Arsenal does give us a big advantage in a way with the away goal. So, we've got a lot of time left, but we've been very poor. And again, coming forward now, Villarreal this time down the far side with Chukwueze. But Xhaka did well actually that time to hold him up. But we need to dig deep here. The last thing we need to do is concede another goal, before half time. Every time Villarreal have come forward, they've looked a threat. And that was a really, really poor goal to concede. A free header from the corner from 6 yards from Moreno, and the big defender, Albiol, from the back, came in unopposed again just to fire into the empty net. And just nowhere near good enough this. But it's... Villarreal have looked good, to be fair. Ended there in the chat says that they'll score again. Well, they might well do. They've certainly been the better team, haven't they? By a country mile in this opening half an hour. Sometimes they've sat off and let us have the ball in non-dangerous areas, and then they've played it around at the back and they've played it through midfield. They've got the ball wide, and every time they cross the halfway line and come forward, they look a threat, and that's partly to do with the quality that they've shown, but also to do with the fact that we're all over the place. Defensively, we are all over the place. It's almost as though the players don't know if it's a back three or a back four. We're not picking up runners, and we've just conceded a really, really poor goal from a set piece as well, with nobody marking and nobody doing their job. And there come Villarreal again. There's loads of space, actually. They're going to have an opportunity to score. Is it going to be a third goal? The shot comes in and it's gone wide. It was Moreno there. That was probably a decent chance for a player who scored 26 goals this season. Actually, so much space in midfield there. Space is opening up everywhere, and that was a poor finish actually from Moreno. But again, we're not closing people down enough, giving far too much space in midfield and at the back, and this is just disastrous from Arsenal. And again, we've just given the ball away in midfield. That was Smith Rowe that time. This is absolutely a shocker of a first half an hour this from Arsenal. And there's nothing that you can look at and cling to for some hope, really. It's been very, very poor. Villarreal's movement's been good. Their passing's been good, and they've been the better team and they've dominated. And the 2-0 scoreline certainly doesn't flatter Villarreal at all. But so we need to dig in now and try to find a way back into this game if we can. We need to do a lot more than we have done, certainly in an attacking sense. You know, it doesn't help when you're 2-0 down. You haven't got a recognised centre forward on the pitch. But there are 3 players who can play centre forward on the bench, which will leave you to decide what you make of all of that. But anyway, Pepe now looking to get in. Or was he brought down? He was. Is it a penalty? Has the referee give a penalty, or is it a free kick outside the box? I'm not quite sure. Is it a penalty or is it a free kick on the edge? I think it is a penalty. I think it is a penalty. Let's have a look at this. It was Pepe actually got in behind. That's the first time he got in behind down this far side, Arsenal's left. Or was that outside the box, the foul, actually? Looking at the replay, I'm not 100% sure. Let's have a look here. Oh, it touches Pepe's hand as well as he came through. If VAR look at that, this may well get overturned again. It'll be the second penalty. In fact, oh no, the foul was in the penalty area. Yeah, the foul was in the penalty area, but it looks like it might be handball in the build-up. If VAR look at that, I think they'll overturn that. The Villarreal players are not happy, and the referee is getting guidance from VAR. It's a tense moment. This actually, not really sure what's happening. The ball did definitely come off Pepe's arm as he controlled the ball, and I do feel as though, looking at the way VAR's gone this season, it's going to be overturned. He's blown his whistle. What's he given? It's a handball. It's a free kick to Villarreal. And for the second game in a row, we've had a penalty been given and then overturned by VAR. But of course, there's no agenda against that. I actually know he's going to look at the screen. The referee's going to look at the screen. Hang on, it hasn't been overturned yet. I tell a lie. He's going to look at the screen, and I'm sure if he looks at the screen, he'll see that that's bounced off Pepe's hand. Yeah, he's given it as handball. Yeah, he's given it as handball. And it's a free kick to Villarreal. And he's took the yellow card off Foyth as well, who he did book for the foul. And he's overturned that. Pepe knows it was a handball as well. But as I say, that's the second penalty in 2 games that we've had ruled out. I think that's the correct decision there. Ender says in the chat there. That was a correct. No, it was. It did definitely hit his arm. There's no doubt about it. Of course, in the old days about VAR, it would have been given. And Terry says, hope the 2-2 comes true. Well, I mean, it still might, but that would have been a good start to the comeback, wouldn't it, if the penalty had stood? But yeah, it was the right decision, let's be honest. It definitely was a handball. And it does seem to sum up our luck at the moment, doesn't it? We can't seem to... Nothing's going our way, is it? And while that was the correct decision, it's still unfortunate, isn't it, when you look at it? You know, he didn't mean to handball it, did he? It kind of bounced off his arm as he was trying to run onto the ball. But anyway, it does sum up our luck at the moment. But sometimes you've got to make your own luck. But now Arsenal coming forward again with Bukayo Saka. Was he fouled? Yeah, I think the referee... Has he given a foul? And Ender says European VAR is way better than PGA MOL. No, I agree. It certainly worked well there. The referee went to look at the screen. And in fact, I don't think that was a foul. I think the defender got the ball there. He went to look at the screen and came to the right conclusion. Actually, he has given a free kick. But anyway, just saying how good the referee was. He's given a yellow card, but it looked like in the replay that it got the ball to defender Torres. But anyway, we have got a free kick. It's about 10 yards inside the near touchline, which it looks like Ødegaard and Ceballos are over. I think Ødegaard might take this with his left foot, actually, because obviously it's over on the right-hand side. You need to put this in towards a penalty spot, make the goalkeeper maybe commit himself, and then have someone coming in to get a flick on it. But we'll see what Odegaard's delivery is like. He looks very young, the goalkeeper, actually. He wears number 13, so I'm guessing he's not the first choice. Number 1 goalkeeper is on the bench. But anyway, let's see what this delivery is like for Martin Odegaard. And it's actually Jack has given away a free kick on the edge of the box with a foul on the goal scorer, the second goal. The quick free kick actually there from Villarreal almost caught us out. Leno had to be smart out of his area there to clear the danger. And he's got the ball again now. But, I mean, Arsenal have been all over the place at times in this first half. It's been really, really poor. And then, as I say, we were nearly caught out by a quick free kick, just not switching on. And we look a bit lost, I've got to be honest. We don't look to have any pattern, any system. And if we was looking for, Arteta to show Emery a tactical masterclass, and it's been the other way around, certainly in these opening 38 minutes of this game. But anyway, Arsenal now coming forward. Callum Chambers down this near side. Can we go old school? It's a decent cross, actually, to the far post. It's a little bit beyond anybody. There's no one else really in there. It's actually gone all the way out for a throw over on the far side. It wasn't a bad ball in from Callum Chambers, but there was nobody in the box. So you look at that replay again. It looked like that defender who's got booked actually got the ball there. But anyway, but he did get booked. And it's going to be a throw to Villarreal, just about 10 yards up from the far corner flag inside their own half of the pitch. Following that cross from Callum Chambers. It's thrown up the line, actually. Pablo Mari wins the first header. Danny Ceballos wins the second, but Villarreal can now counter. But Arsenal managed to win possession back with Thomas Partey. It looked a little bit untidy, but he did win the ball, found Callum Chambers, and it's now back with Pablo Mari. There's 6 minutes, 5.5 minutes till half time. Callum Chambers just gives the ball away. Really sloppy this from Arsenal. It's been the theme of this first half, actually. It's just been nowhere near good enough. And again, Villarreal just slowed the play down, and Arsenal not putting them under any pressure whatsoever. You wouldn't think there was a semi-final with 2-0 down. And I say Villarreal defenders can almost play at walking pace because we're not closing them down at all. Do they realise this is a semi-final? This isn't just a Premier League game. It doesn't matter. Have someone told them this is actually the real game that matters this week? Anyway, Callum Chambers now on this near side. At some point, I'm sure we'll show a bit more urgency at some point in this game, but not quite sure when that's likely to be. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Arsenal just pinging the ball around. Again, it's just not in any dangerous area for Villarreal. Of course, we did show when Pepe got in behind us at one time when we did originally get the penalty that's what we need to do more. I need to get in behind them a little bit because I don't think defensively they're that good. And it's just another foul on Saka, actually. We go with another free kick on this near side. Again, about 10 yards in from the touchline. That was the fullback there, Pedraza, who actually hasn't been able to get forward very much in the last 10 minutes or so. We're 4 minutes away from half-time, and we've got a free kick, I say, in a fairly dangerous area, actually. Enders has a bunch of mercenaries. It certainly seems that way at the moment, doesn't it? Anyway, it's going to be Odegaard again to take this one. Sort of in line with the penalty, just a little bit outside on this near side. Whips it in towards the far post, and Arsenal head gets on it, but it's gone wide. I think it was Rob Holding. Got his head on it under pressure and he put it wide. But just showing there the second Villarreal goal from the other angle, that was really poor. I mean, two men completely unmarked, ridiculous. And Kevin's in the chat there, he says, Evening Richard, no energy, it's a semi-final. No, exactly, I was just saying that myself. It doesn't look like they're bothered. And that's the most frustrating thing for me. You know, you can take sometimes you're losing to a team that's better as long as you look like you've given everything to try to win the game. But so far, we've just been poor in every single aspect of this game. And like you said, showing no urgency. It's going to be a third goal, is it? Moreno's in his round of Copa. Was he clipped there by Leno? Don't think he was. That was another dangerous moment there. It was a lovely ball actually played through. It was actually Foyth, the former Tottenham player, bursting forward from fullback, played a lovely ball into Moreno. He skipped round Leno, but then he lost his footing. He was going at a wrong angle away from the goal anyway. Terry says, I think we're playing in the European Super League. Well, I think the European Super League is the only way we're going to be playing in Europe in the future, looking at this team. But anyway, let's hope that we can turn this around. But it's gonna take something a bit different, isn't it? Something a bit extra, because at the moment we've been, as Kevin said there, no energy. It's so poor. No energy, no organisation. I just can't understand what's going on. When you think back to the previous round when we was at Slavia Prague, that first half performance there, which was just fantastic, wasn't it? And even if we'd played half as well as that in this first half, we wouldn't be 2-0 down, would we? But anyway, and as Mark says, we're making a Foyth look like Beckenbauer. We certainly did just then, didn't we? He definitely looked like Beckenbauer then. But anyway, we haven't offered enough at all. We're all over the place defensively. We're showing nothing in midfield, and we're not closing them down enough. I mean, up front, we've had nothing at all. And yes, we haven't got a centre forward. Surely at half time, which is a minute and a half away, plus stoppage time, which there'll probably be a couple of minutes or so. But again, Villarreal is stronger than us. They've got more desire than us, and they're breaking forward again. Again, it's Foyth actually breaking forward, steaming past Dani Ceballos, who brings him down, and that's going to be a yellow card and a free kick. I mean, that was a silly free kick there from Ceballos. I mean, you're going to take one for the team. Take one from the team 25 yards further up the pitch, mate. Not just as he's about to get towards a penalty area. You had plenty of opportunities to foul him. That was a terrible decision again from Ceballos. We lost the ball at the other end of the pitch there, just not really strong enough. Saka was crowded out by 3 players, and Dani Ceballos there. Silly foul in a dangerous area. And this is a great opportunity for Villarreal actually to get a third goal before half-time. We're counting down towards stoppage time at the end of this, what has been an absolutely disastrous first half. And this could really rub salt into our wounds, actually, if they get another goal here. Villarreal have actually put 2 players in front of the wall as well. The Arsenal wall, 4 people in the wall. The free kick's about 35 yards out. Surely he's not going to shoot, is he? He has, but it's straight at Leno. It was Alcácer actually with the free kick there. So it's about 35 yards out. He was a bit optimistic to maybe think he could score. He did go over the wall, but it was straight into the arms of Bernd Leno. We are now into the minute of stoppage time that's been given. I'm surprised it's not more than a minute when there was a VAR check, which probably took 2 minutes, plus 1 or 2 minor injuries. And Thomas Partey has just played the ball straight out of touch. Absolutely dreadful. Every single one of these players needs to go in at half time and have an absolute word with themselves. If I was Mikel Arteta, I'd be making at least 2 substitutions in for this second half. We've got to get more of a threat going forward on. We need to get Martinelli or Aubameyang on. Without a shadow of a doubt, I would do that at half time because this formation, this system isn't working. Shane's in the chat there doing. Shane, thanks for tuning in. When can we protest for Arteta and Ceballos? Well, I think Ceballos is on his way out, isn't he? I don't think Arteta's going to be long behind him either, as it happens. But anyway, Kevin says there, makes me wonder if our manager is too nice on the players on the pitch, too nice. His club needs an 80s kick up the arse. It needs a George Graham kick up the arse is what it needs. And there goes a half-time whistle. And that is just probably the worst first half of football in a big game that I can remember Arsenal playing probably since the second half in Baku. Disgusting. That was a disgusting first half performance from Arsenal. Every single one of them players needs to really sort themselves out at half time. Arteta's got a big job on. Ender says a hairdryer treatment. I just don't think that's in Arteta's makeup, as Kevin says. I do think he's maybe too nice. Maybe that's his problem. And Mark says, God, we're not even on the same page. No, we're not. They've been miles ahead of us. Ender says we weren't too great in the 80s. Well, not in the first half of the 80s. Not I remember, says Ender. No, I mean, in the first half of the 80s, we wasn't particularly good, but we certainly were better towards the end of the 80s. But George Graham came in and as Kevin said there, he did kick some arse, and he got the team performing better, without spending money in the transfer market either. I know football's different now, but you've got to get more out of what you've got. You look at our team, you look at some of the players that we've got, and they shouldn't be producing performances like this. I mean, that was disgusting, that performance. You know, we've had some terrible performances lately. Fulham was dreadful, Everton was dreadful, Liverpool at home was dreadful. This is worse than all of those put together. One, because of the importance of the game, first of all, and secondly, just with the lack of desire, the lack of ambition, the lack of belief. And unfortunately, I'm afraid that comes from the manager. And if anybody was, you know, believing that Arteta deserves more time or he's the right man to take us forward, I think this first half performance, above anything else, shows that he isn't. And yes, it's half time. This is where he's got to earn his money. He's got to sort this out at half time. And if we know better in the second half, then for me, that's it. You know, I saw a comment earlier on, and I think it was on the same old Arsenal show, somebody saying that, you know, if we lose tonight, he shouldn't even be given the second leg. And you look at that performance there, and you've got to say, well, you know, if we're no better in the second half and this finishes 2-0 or more, then yeah, maybe he doesn't deserve to be there for the second leg. But anyway, let's see what happens. Ender there says Route 1 football. Well, it's not even been Route 1, is it? We haven't even had it's been Route 0 because we've gone nowhere. Route 66 maybe. I don't think it works. Well, it definitely hasn't worked. We can't pass anywhere, and I don't know about passing back. We haven't managed to pass at all, have we? Shane says, we need Martinelli and Uber on at half time. Yeah, I said that. I totally agree with that, but expect William and El after 70 minutes. Why? I know I'm laughing at that, and you know, it wouldn't actually surprise me, but anyway, let's hope by the 70th minute we've turned this around. And Ender says, referring to Jules Graham's football. Yeah, no, Jules Graham's football. Yeah, it wasn't pretty at times, but it certainly worked. And then it says, trust the process with question marks. Exactly, yeah. I mean, what is the process? I don't think Arsenal as a club have a process, do we? That's quite obvious. I think the last couple of weeks has made that quite clear. There's absolutely no process in this club, is there? The only process seems to be how we can destroy the club as quickly as possible, how we can take it backwards. And, I mean, I actually said earlier on that I believe that even if somehow we manage to get through this semi-final, if somehow we manage to win this cup, it would be massively papering over all the cracks that there are in this club. We're no way are we ready. We're not moving forward, are we? And, you know, we won the FA Cup and that papered over some cracks. And I think all of us maybe believe that Arteta could take us forward. But I think this season has proved beyond any shadow of a doubt we're going to finish mid-table, could even the bottom half of the table the way things are going. And, you know, there's been too many of these performances in this first half. And yes, you know, we might well turn it around in the second half, and let's hope that we do. But it still doesn't excuse the fact that these sort of performances that we've just witnessed in this first half have happened too often this season, and even the back end of last season at times as well. And it's just not acceptable for Arsenal, you know. And if we want to be taken seriously again, things have got to change, you know. And, you know, we've been protesting about the owners, and rightly so. I've got Kroenke out, as you can see on top of the screen. But ultimately, for me, what bothers me, because it's happening on a weekly basis, is what happens on the pitch. That's what upsets me, and that's what angers me. And the way this season has panned out, that to me is the biggest problem. And yes, obviously the owners are a part of that. It's all investment and stuff, but they have invested money. I don't think there's any doubt about that. We've just got the wrong people. We've had the wrong people dealing with recruitment. They bought the wrong players. We've offered stupid contracts to the wrong people. The Kroenkes haven't done any of that. They don't deal with all of that because they're never in the country for a start off. You know, that's the people that they've employed in the club that have not done their job properly. And this has been a constant thing going on and on now for quite a long time. And that's why we're in this situation that we're in now. Ender says how the Kroenkes can extract all the money that they can from it. Well, yeah, I mean, they obviously do, but they own it, so they can do what they like with the money, I guess. But you can clearly see that we have spent money. A lot of these players in this team didn't come free, did they? You know, and some of them are good players. Thomas Partey, he's a top quality player. Look what he was doing for Atletico in the Champions League last season. Why is he looking so shit when he's playing for us? It can only be one reason: the coaching and the tactics and everything else around him. You know, Erdegaard's a quality player. You can see he's a quality player. But look what he's been ineffective in this game. He's been ineffective in one or two other games. You know, Saka and Smith Rowe, fantastic young players. You know, they're doing nothing in this game. Pepe cost £72 million. I mean, you know, obviously that's a criminal offence to pay £72 million for him, but he's clearly got ability. and all of them are playing as though they're not good enough players, when clearly they are. They're just being coached wrong. That's what it comes down to. The tactics are wrong, and everything's wrong. Shane says, how many goals Tobias cost us in the Europa League? Yeah, quite a few. Put Xhaka back in the centre. All these players are cowards. I agree. Xhaka should be in the centre, but what do we do with a left-back situation? Drop Saka in there, maybe put Martinelli, put Pepe on the right, Martinelli on the left, take Ceballos off, and I say put Saka maybe left-back. That could be an option. A lot of changes for one substitution, but he should have done this in the first place. He should have picked that team in the first place. And Terry says, apparently we still owe 154 million on transfer fees. Yeah, well, a lot of that's the Pepe deal, isn't it? Because we were paying that in instalments. I'm sure it's not the only one. I bet we still owe stuff on Thomas Partey as well. The club's been run terribly, hasn't it, for a number of years. You know, we've had the wrong people in the wrong positions at the club, making a complete and utter mess of it. And that comes from on the pitch all the way up to the very top. And, yeah, it's nowhere near good enough. It's just not good enough at all. But there's so many things that need to be changed and improved that it's such a big job, and I don't know how it's going to happen. You know, everyone's maybe pinning their hopes on this Swedish guy, the Spotify dude, to come in and, you know, with the help of the invincible players and solve all the problems. And I'm not necessarily sure that, you know, I think it's a massive job, isn't it? And anyone that comes in is going to, unless they're going to invest millions and millions and millions of pounds in the team straight away to improve that side of it straight away, which they're not going to do. You know, and I'm not sure whether or not somebody who says they're a fan of a club is necessarily just the answer. I mean, you look at Chelsea, look at Man City, they had people coming in who had no connection with the club before they arrived, but they came with a plan because they wanted to take the club forward. And that's what I want, only like that. I don't care if they pretend to be an Arsenal fan or if they are an Arsenal fan. I've got to be honest, my thoughts on Daniel Ek when I saw his interview yesterday was, it's a bit like, isn't it, when you sign a new player, you know, Arsenal have signed players in the past, say, for example, some of the French players, oh, yeah, I grew up watching Arsenal, you know, Thierry Henry, this, that, the other, and they're my club. But if they'll then, you know, 2 years later go and sign for West Ham or someone else. And that's what happens, you know. And I've got that feeling with him. I'm not saying he doesn't follow Arsenal because of Anders Limpar. I'm sure he has. But that's how that came across to me. And anyway, it makes no difference. It's not necessarily how much of a fan he is. It's how that's going to work. I say, look at Roman Abramovich. He wasn't a Chelsea fan as a kid. He never pretended to be. You know, Sheikh Mansour at Man City. They've come into their clubs with money to spend to make the club successful. And that's more important than whether or not they're an Arsenal fan or not. I don't care about that particularly. Is it an extra bonus on top? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You know, I don't know. But you look at other owners that other clubs have come in without any previous, you know, allegiance to that club, and they've gone on and made them successful. And that's what I want to see, an owner that's going to have that ambition for the club, whether they're a fan or not, is irrelevant to me. Obviously, the current owners don't have that ambition quite clearly, so they clearly need to go. And who comes in, I don't know. They need to sell first, don't they? And at the moment, they don't look in any rush to sell, and they're not going to be upset by that first half, are they? You know, over there in the States, they're not going to be bothered. They probably aren't even watching the game, are they? They don't care. No doubt they'll have a phone call in the morning if we've lost. I do feel as though what is going to happen this summer anyway now, I do feel as though the Kroenkes are going to have to either sell or invest money in the team. I don't think they're going to sell, so I do think they will invest in the team. And I think we will see some changes going on the playing side. I actually think that what might happen is, if we're not in Europe, if we get knocked out of this Europa League, that I think there'll be a change of manager, and I think there'll be a turnover of players as well. And I think that'll be the Kroenkes' way of saying, look, this is how we're going to build trust back. But we know ultimately they don't have a long-term goal, do they? They don't have a long-term plan or ambition to make Arsenal successful. They're just reacting to the negativity, and that's all it'll be. And I've got a feeling I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen. And I get the feeling that most Arsenal fans are switched on to that and aren't going to buy it and aren't going to think, oh, well, that's all right, we'll forgive the Kroenkes because we've just bought 4 good players in the transfer window and got a experienced manager in. But having said that, that is what we need. There's no doubt about that. And if that was to happen, maybe next season would go a lot better on the pitch. And ultimately, that's what it's about, isn't it? You know, if we were in the top 4 currently, if we were playing well and we wasn't losing, we hadn't lost 13 games, that's not the Kroenkes' fault, is it? The reason why we've lost 13 games in the Premier League, the reason why we've just played like that in the first half of the semi-final is because of the coach and because of the attitude of some of the players, which again comes from the coach. That's not the Kroenkes' fault. The Kroenkes are at fault for lots of things, but they're not at fault for the performance on the pitch. That comes from the manager and that comes from the players. And they're the ones that we need to be looking at this moment in time, you know, in that first half there in particular. They're the ones that deserve the criticism at this moment in time. The Kroenkes are a separate issue, you know, and that's a long-term thing, isn't it? In terms of the short-term thing on the pitch, they're not responsible for that, the Kroenkes. You know, they'll turn around and say, well, we've labelled the club to buy these players. Thomas Partey, good player. Odegaard's come in, good player. You know, other players that we've signed, yes, some of them are injured at the moment. But they've spent that money. Aubameyang, you know, was our record signing. Pepe's been our record signing. These are all under the Kroenkes, right? That's a separate issue to this. The performances on the pitch at the moment are 100% down to the coach and the players equally between them, mainly the coach. And that's the first thing for me that needs to change. Whoever the owners are, whether it's the Kroenkes, whether it's Daniel Ek, whoever it is, the first change for me has got to be the manager. And then we need to see investment in the team. And if we get those two things, we must start it. Whether it's the Kroenkes who are in charge of that or whether it's somebody else. They're the first two things for me that have to happen at the end of this season. This summer, for it to be a successful summer, we need those two things to happen. And if that happens, then we can see where we go from there. But I think that's the only way to progress this team is for that to happen in the summer. And that's whoever the owners are. That'd be the first thing I want to see happen at the end of this season. Ender says they're just desserts for hounding out Wenger, who was clearly overachieving. Well, you've got a good point there, Ender, because when you look at maybe some of the squads that we had towards the end of Wenger's time, where we continue to finish in the league, maybe he did overachieve with that group of players. Or the other way to look at it is have Emery and subsequently Arteta massively underachieved. Probably a little bit of both, isn't it? Let's be honest. I think it is a little bit of both. I don't think Wenger was given the credit he deserved for what he did in those last few years. Yes, because everyone felt he should have walked away maybe after the 2014 FA Cup, after the 2015 FA Cup. We had opportunities to walk away, but you know, maybe he should have done looking back on it now, and perhaps he probably maybe feels that as well, deep down, if he was honest with himself. But I think he believed he could get a little bit more out of the team and he could build another team that could be successful for the next manager. Unfortunately, he left it too long, and we have been left with a little bit of a mess, not on the pitch or just on the pitch, off the pitch as well. But yeah, I think it's a mixture of him maybe overachieving slightly at the end and the last two managers since underachieving. A bit of both maybe. But anyway, the fact of the matter is that this team at this moment in time after that first half have massively underachieved, haven't they, in that 45 minutes of football. I mean, that's not the level for Arsenal. I don't care who the manager is. I don't care who the owners are. I don't care about anything. That is not acceptable for a level of performance from an Arsenal team. Certainly not in a semi-final of a European competition. It's just not acceptable. So we're going to see what Arteta's about now, won't we? We'll see what changes he's made in the second half to the personnel. Surely there's got to be at least 2 substitutions made at half-time. Bearing in mind, you can make 5 in the Europa League. He's got no excuse, has he, to wait. Get on Martinelli, get on Aubameyang, get Ceballos off. Anyway, the teams are coming out now, so we're about to see these 2 fantastic substitutions that our esteemed coach has made. Coquelin's coming on. Coquelin is coming on for Villarreal, for one of the attackers actually, Al Cesa, however you say his name. He's gone off, and Coquelin's come on. So a little bit of a defensive change there from Unai Emery. Maybe he's going to settle for the 2-0. But it doesn't look like Arsenal made any changes. This is how brilliant our coach is. He can make 5 substitutions in this game. We haven't had any attacking threat going forward whatsoever. We've got 3 strikers on the bench, none on the pitch, and he hasn't made 1 substitution at half-time. And people are wondering why we don't have faith in him, or a certain part of the fan base don't have faith in him. This is exactly the reason why. This is exactly the reason why. You've got to have made 2 substitutions at half-time. You've got to, and he hasn't. He's kept it exactly the same. And what's he expect? Suddenly we're going to suddenly play differently. Sorry, but he's a dead man walking as far as I'm concerned, barring some miracle in the second half. Shane says they were desperate needing an away goal. Arteta needs a big half time. Well, he doesn't like he's had a big half time because he hasn't made any changes, has he? Terry says they're Championship players playing in the Premiership. So, well, I don't know about Championship players. I think they're all good Premier League players. I think they're confused. Also, Bios is in trouble here. He was booked in the first half and he's just committed a bad foul there. Oh, Ceballos there. Actually, he's lucky not to get a second yellow card there, Ceballos. That would just about have finished us off, I think. I'm surprised he's kept him on anyway, because he's just useless. A bit like half of them, really. I mean, you could have took anyone off in the first half. Surely that the two substitutions have made at half-time there was to take off Ceballos and to have taken off, I don't know actually who else. Maybe Smith Rowe. He didn't have a great game, did he? And brought on Aubameyang and Martinelli and just gone for it. Put Saka at left back, Xhaka in midfield, but who was it? Was it Terry earlier in the chat said 70 minutes he'll bring on Willian and El Neni? Certainly wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, Arsenal now trying to come forward with Ødegaard, but he's forced back to Thomas Partey, pings a ball into Nicolas Pepe. Actually took it down really well. Actually, no, it was Saka. But again, he's crowded out on the edge of the box. Good defending again from Villarreal. You've got to give Emery credit for the way they've played so far in this game. They've been outstanding, actually, in all areas of the pitch. Anyway, now Ceballos coming forward. Crossing to the 6-yard box. Pepe with a follow-up shot. Blocked at the near post by the goal scorer, the second goal, Albiol. It was a cross actually in from Ceballos from the left-hand side. It looked as though it was just going to go through to the goalkeeper. There's a bit of a miscommunication at the back there from Villarreal for the first time. And Pepe got a shot in. But in we have got a corner. It's our first corner, actually. It took us 47 minutes to get it. It's from this near side, exactly the same position where Villarreal scored their second goal. Let's see if we can get a goal from a corner. It's going to be Ødegaard. It's going to be an outswing of his left foot. Actually, the referee's just having a word with some players there. And Mark C says to kill time, their players are going to be diving and rolling around all over the place. Yeah, they probably will. It's Spanish football we're talking about. So they're bound to. It's standard in the La Liga, isn't it? Anyway, that corner there from Ødegaard, don't know where it was going, but it was headed out on the edge of the penalty area. Xhaka tries to put the ball back across to Ødegaard. Actually, that was a good ball. Switch of play. Ødegaard cuts inside to Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey switches it over to the far side to Granit Xhaka. No, to Callum Chambers, sorry. Granit Xhaka now. I don't quite know what he's doing over there. But anyway, Thomas Partey. Granit Xhaka again. Have we maybe changed the system slightly? He's up on the right-hand side, Granit Xhaka. Not quite sure what he's doing over there, but anyway. He's actually got the ball now, plays it out to the far side. Smith Rowe, a deep cross to the far post. It's gone out already. But I think it was a foul actually by Holding anyway. It looked like the cross maybe had gone out over the far post. But I think the referee's given a foul by Rob Holding. Seemed like a bit of 50-50, but I think the ball was out anyway. Actually, I think Rob Holding did push him over, to be fair. Yeah, the ball was out. In any case, it wouldn't really mattered either way. It was either a free kick or a goal kick to Villarreal. And the goalkeeper there goes long. Mari gets his head on it, but it just he's going to go out, is it? No, Pepe manages to keep it in on his near side. Granit Xhaka's back over in the left back position now. He was over on the right-hand side for about 2 or 3 minutes just before. Ødegaard now coming forward. He's got Callum Chambers outside him. Callum Chambers towards Nicolas Pepe, but the ball was overhit again. Another cross overhit, but it does come all the way to Dani Ceballos on this near side. Finds Granit Xhaka. Again, finds Dani Ceballos into Pepe. It wasn't a great ball, actually, and Pepe's lost out, but it was going to be a free kick. But Granit Xhaka's picked up the ball. We've now got possession anyway. It's back with Granit Xhaka. I mean, we've come out a little bit more aggressively at the start of the second half. But apart from the corner, which was basically a mistake from Villarreal that came about that anyway, we haven't really done an awful lot in an attacking sense. In fact, I don't think their goalkeeper's had a save to make, has he yet? 50 minutes gone. It's a throw there taken by Xhaka on this near side. He gets it back again. Thomas Partey's got a scamper after that ball actually from Xhaka. It wasn't a great ball, had him facing his own goal. But he's got the ball under no pressure. He's now got it back again, Xhaka. Again, we're playing almost at walking pace here. Pepe now down his left-hand side. Can he get a crossing? Tries to do too much there. And it was Kapua who held him up. Also know each other pretty well, those two, won't they? Granit Xhaka does the throw again back to Pablo Mari. I mean, it's all Arsenal in terms of possession at the start of the second half, but Villarreal seem quite happy with that situation. They're closing the doors in behind. There's no gaps, and if there are, we're certainly not finding any. Saka now looking to open it up there, but he actually slipped over. But Callum Chambers got the ball. Ødegaard tries to ping it over to the far side to Pepe. That's a good touch on his chest. He's just inside the penalty area. Finds Ceballos. Finds Granit Xhaka. Now Thomas Partey, don't shoot. He said he finds Ødegaard on the edge of the box. Again, he tried to thread it through, but again, there's yellow shirts in the way. But this is better from Arsenal. Goes out to the far side to Chambers. Across into the box. It's headed out by, was it Fourth again with the header there? And now it's a foul by Saka inside the penalty area on Pedraza. Those two have had a bit of a battle tonight, actually. It's going to be a free kick to Villarreal. A little bit better from Arsenal this time, to be fair, at the start of the second half. We've come out with a little bit more aggression, which I think was needed. But again, we still haven't managed to force a save out of the goalkeeper, really. It was just that one effort from Pepe, which was deflected behind after a mistake at the back, actually, by Villarreal. The first mistake they've made defensively tonight. But it is a free kick, which the goalkeeper is going to take. The young goalkeeper, Rulli, goes long. But again, it was Rob Holding actually on the end of that one. Now the ball's all the way back through to Bernd Leno. Plays it to Thomas Partey. Again, we're trying to play it out from the back, which sort of works this time. I always get nervous when we do that. And now suddenly we've got an opportunity for an attack. But again, it's a poor ball there. Was it Callum Chambers? Didn't really give Smith Rowe any opportunity to get that. And again, it was a yellow shirt comes away with the ball. And they've now played it back to the goalkeeper, who's in a rather strange top, actually. It's almost like pink with green sleeves and a green shorts. Bit of a strange kit there. Anyway, Thomas Partey has just given away a free kick for a foul on Kapua, or Kapua, whatever you want to call his name. Etienne Kapua, I say, a former Tottenham Watford player. It was a foul, actually. He's actually played quite well for Villarreal as well, hasn't he? There's been a few good performances from them tonight. It's 2-2 in the other game, Man United-Roma. Roma are actually winning 2-1, but Cavani's just equalised for Manchester United. It looks like that was the game that was going to be 2-2. We didn't really think that, did we? But anyway, let's hope we can find two. Oh, that's a mistake by the goalkeeper, actually. Have we got a chance now? Saka. But great tackle, but the ball has run through to Ødegaard. It looks like Villarreal have again cleaned it up. They've defended pretty well at times there. Mistake by the goalkeeper, but again, as soon as we have half an opportunity, they're swarming around us, Villarreal players. And you can see the difference in desire from the two teams, and also quality as well at times with some of their passing. That was good play there from Pablo Mari, cut out a possible counter-attack from Villarreal, but we haven't really managed to get the ball away too well, but we've got it under control now with Rob Holder, with Callum Chambers on that far side. He finds Ødegaard, skips inside, plays it out to Saka on the far side, on that far right touchline for Arsenal. Drifts in slightly, finds Ødegaard again, finds Smith Rowe. We need to get our quality players on the ball a little bit more. Ødegaard now plays the ball towards the far side towards Pepe, heads it back, but again it's Foyth again for Villarreal, but he can't keep it in, but he did well initially again. He's had a good game, actually, the former Tottenham man. I'm sure it is him. Certainly looks like him. Going to be a throw again, which Granit Xhaka's taken very deep inside the Villarreal half on this near side, Arsenal's left. Granit Xhaka again plays it into Smith Rowe. Actually does really well there, Smith Rowe. Good feet. Can he get across? He's into the penalty area, but it was well defended actually there. Really well defended by Chukwueze, the winger, doing his defensive duties for the team. He did really well initially, actually, Smith Rowe. Managed to keep it in, showed good feet between two players, but in the end, the strength of the Villarreal winger there was what was crucial. Arteta's not very happy on the sideline, complaining to the fourth official. But it has been a lot better start to the second half from Arsenal. 10 minutes played in the second half. It is still 2-0, but Villarreal haven't got out of their half yet in the second half. Although they are defending pretty well. Now they've got a chance for a counter-attack with Gerard Moreno. Plays it to this near side to Chikewu. He's going to run at Granit Xhaka. He's going to fancy his chances there, but Pepe came back and helped him out. But actually, he's won the ball back well there, the winger. He's done really, really well, actually. Pepe really helped out Granit Xhaka there defensively. But it's held up the attack, but Villarreal are back in possession over on the far side. You can see their threat going forward. They've got a lot of pace, haven't they, Villarreal, especially in the wide areas. And that's going to be the danger as we have to, at some point, take more risks. I don't think we can just settle for a 2-0 defeat, can we? We need to try and score a goal. And as we take a few more risks, you can see them looking dangerous on the counter-attack. And they've got a counter-attack here, actually. That was it Rob Holding dived in, lost out there. But Chambers actually covered for him well there. And now Arsenal can look, maybe try to get the ball away. Playing it out from the back, Rob Holding there. Plays it up the line to Bukayo Saka. Ball into Smith Rowe. Now maybe Arsenal can get a counter-attack of their own. Danny Ceballos. He's got Pepe outside him on this near side. Pepe's now got the ball. Cutting in, running towards a penalty here. Plays it back inside to Danny Ceballos. It wasn't a great ball, actually. And Ceballos has given away another, and it's going to be a second yellow card for Danny Ceballos, and he's off. Arsenal are down to 10 men. To be fair, that's been coming. He's done about 3 fouls in the second half since he got his first yellow card. He's complaining. I don't know what he's got to complain about. Now we're in massive trouble here. That looked a soft one, but he was lucky to get away with one just at the start of the second half. There's been another yellow card as well for Thomas Partey, I think it was, for complaining. He'll be out of the second leg as well. And not that's a bad thing. It's obviously it's a problem in this game now. We're down to 10 men and 2-0 down. Danny Ceballos is still complaining. I'm not sure this is a yellow card. He was stretching. Is it for that first one? He stood on his foot there. Well, to be fair, the one just at the start of the second half looked more of a yellow card for a second yellow card than that one did, but maybe it's just a totting up process. I don't think you can really have too many complaints. When you want a yellow card, you can't really be doing that. But it's a free kick to Villarreal, and surely now this is it for us. But Ceballos is still complaining to the fourth official on the sideline. And yes, I do think that's a bit of a harsh yellow. But he did complain about you can't have too many complaints about the one he didn't get just before, actually. But this is now a total disastrous night, isn't it? Don't quite know. I mean, we were saying in the first half, take Ceballos off anyway because he wasn't playing particularly well. And it's come back to haunt us anyway. It's going to be really hard now, isn't it, to come back into this with 10 men. We may be just starting to get a foothold in the game as well. We played a little bit better at the start of the second half, and now that's been ruined again. Danny Ceballos showing what a liability he is in these European games. And that looked more of a yellow card there, actually. Interrupted by injury. Just see what was going on Twitter, really, because the game's losing a bit of interest for me now, I have to say. Anyway, we've reached 60 minutes. Arteta's still not made any substitutions. And Terry says there, I think I'm going to agree with his comment. Bad management by Arteta. Ceballos shouldn't have been on. But no, exactly. We set the table off at half time anyway. But there you go. But anyway, we've got half an hour left in this game, and I suppose if we do end up just losing 2-0, I suppose in the circumstances that wouldn't necessarily be a disaster. But it's going to be very difficult to come back from that, isn't it? Next week with our home form so poor. Anyway, they're coming forward again down this near side. This is good play from the tricky winger. That's a good ball in, actually. They've got a chance. Moreno there was a little bit wide. He couldn't really get anything going with that. But again, this shot comes in. Good save from Leno. That was almost 3-0. Arsenal just can't get the ball away. We just can't live with this Chiquazo guy. Plays the ball back into the box towards Moreno. Good defending. Just about an Arsenal by a free kick that was holding there. Did well. We're hanging on slightly here. I do think if a third goal goes in, I fear what it might end up, actually. But it was really good play from Chiquazo there. Played the ball into Moreno. It was a tight. Actually, wasn't Moreno, was it? It was Trigoros. But a shot came in there. It was on target. It was a good save from Leno, actually. It's a save you'd expect him to make, but every time they come forward, we look all over the place, and that's not to do with us having 10 minutes. Look like that in the first. What's happening here? We need to do something, because this is going to end up being embarrassing. Anyway, we have managed to win ourselves a corner. A bit of a mix-up there at the back for Villarreal, which we have got a corner over on the far side. An opportunity, maybe. So Martinelli's come on for Martin Odegaard. So the first substitution's been made. Not sure what I made of that, really. But I suppose with Ceballos now off, I don't know what other options there were, really. But anyway, we have got a corner on the far side. Let's see if Martinelli can make a hero of himself. Coming on and getting a goal, maybe. But we've got a corner and he's drifted right out. He's not even in the penalty area. There's a lot of pushing and shoving going on in the 6-yard box. Needs a good delivery, this, actually. I don't know if Odegaard's gone off because he's not really been fit, is he? He's only just come back from an injury. Kevin says there in the chat, how low does this club have to go? Don't blame Kroenke. I totally agree. I was saying that at half time. Terry says, in case I forgot by Arteta, bad manager by Arteta. No, exactly. No, I totally agree with that. And Mark C says, even if we had 11, we still weren't looking in ship shape. No, we weren't. Goalkeeper's flapped at that corner a little bit, actually. It comes out. A shot comes in from Smith Rowe. They can't really get it away. A shot on the turn there from Rob Holding. Shows why he's a central defender. And it's gone wide of the goal. But he flapped at that a bit, the goalkeeper there, that corner. And the first shot from Smith Rowe was blocked. And then it came to Rob Holding, who was about 12 yards out on the turn, facing away from goal. It was always going to be difficult to do much with that. And it went about 10 yards wide. But at least it was an attack from Arsenal in the second half. And Villarreal just given the ball away, actually, again. After looking pretty solid, the red card seems to have affected them a little bit as well. Anyway, Thomas Partey now basically is in midfield on his own. Spreads the ball out to the far side, but it goes out, bounces over Callum Chambers. It's gone out for a throw over on that far side. So Arteta has made his first change anyway. Martinelli's come on for Odegaard. I'm not quite sure what the shape of the team's going to be now. Smith Rowe's probably going to go back into number 10 position. Looks as though Martinelli's over on that far side rather than through the middle, which may have been the better place for him to play. Oh, actually, he's through the middle now. So it looks like Saka is on the right, Pepe's on the left, Martinelli's through the middle, Smith Rowe is in the number 10 position, and it looks like we haven't really done anything about the Ceballos sending off. Thomas Partey's basically there on his own in midfield, and Smith Rowe's dropping in to help him when he can. But Villarreal now looks to have a counter-attack. This is Moreno. There was a slip there from Mari, but he manages to recover and boot the ball as far away from our goal as he can. It goes all the way through to the goalkeeper. Mark C says their goalkeeper doesn't look confident, but we're not testing him at all. No, exactly. He hasn't looked very confident, has he? He flaps at that corner. He's had a few dodgy moments kicking it out as well. But I don't think we've had a shot on target, have we? So Kevin makes a good point there. He says, next goal, the winner of this tie, we score, lose 2-1, great chance, 3-0, goodbye. Exactly. Even 2-1, I wouldn't say it'd be better, but our home form is so poor. But anyway, they're coming forward now as we speak. And there's a space inside the penalty for Moreno. Oh, and Leno makes a good save. Or did he not? Or did he just miss it? Or was that a good save from Leno? I think it was a save, actually. It ripped us apart there. They're starting to find the gaps. And Moreno there did find a gap in between the two centre halves. Terrible defending from Arsenal. We got a good first touch. Actually, it is a good save from Leno. Just got a fingertip to it there, Leno. That's kept us in this. Just managed to deflect it over the top, Leno. But it is a corner over on the far side to Villarreal. I think they know, and Kevin's right. If they score a third goal and this finishes 3-0, then it's game over for us, isn't it? But Villarreal now took a short corner, actually, but they are still in possession. And I'm sure they're going to try to get a third goal if they can, to take advantage of the fact that we are a man down as well. That's a good ball, actually, over the top there, looking over that far side. But Arsenal do deal with it well. It was a good headed clearance, actually, by Martinelli, who was actually back there doing his defensive duties for the team. And we've now won a free kick for a foul on Pepe, who, apart from the penalty incident in the first half, hasn't really got in this game at all, has he? In fact, I think Pepe conceded a free kick. I'm not really sure. He looked like a high foot. But anyway, it was a free kick to Arsenal. Villarreal are back to pressing us again. It's just come up on the screen there. There's 5 shots on target to Villarreal, none from us. And that kind of says it all, really. Capoue there. He's going to get a yellow card. He likes his yellow cards, this ref, doesn't he? That was a foul on Pepe. Just held him off, actually. He was trying to hold him off as Pepe was trying to come in and challenge him, sort of thing that you do all the time. And he's got a yellow card, so he's on a bit of a tightrope now, Capoue as well. And again, it's another aimless long ball forward from Arsenal. It's gone out for a throw over on the far side. But this was a chance there for Moreno. He got a good touch, actually. It's a good shot and good save from Leno. Managed to get it over the top of the crossbar. So that goes in. And it would be, as Kevin rightly said, game over. Anyway, they're coming forward again now, Villarreal. Suddenly we're looking very ragged and there's holes everywhere at the back for us. This is a good run, actually, from the winger. Cuts inside. A reverse ball to Moreno inside the penalty area. Are they going to get the third goal now? Moreno shot again. It's a save from Leno, but there was a player offside in front of him, so I don't think it would have counted anyway. I mean, Moreno scored 26 goals this season, but his finishing's not been great. And actually, Foyth's just pulled up with a hamstring injury by the look of it. So I don't think he's going to be. He's just gone down now, so I think he's going to be going off. He's had a good game, actually, for Villarreal. See, again, you see, it didn't really work for him at Tottenham, did it? And it just goes to show that sometimes, you know, being at one club with one coach can work, and being at another club, it doesn't mean you're a bad player. It just means that maybe certain things don't work for you. But he made a run forward there and his hamstring went. And that could be him out for the rest of the season, possibly. It depends how bad it is. Anyway, he's going off now, obviously, with that hamstring injury. And Villarreal are making a hurried substitution that they wasn't expecting at this particular stage of the game, I wouldn't have thought. Not sure who's coming on. Oh, he's actually on loan from Tottenham. I've just been informed by the commentator. But he had a good game, actually, there until he got injured. So fair play to him. And it's Mario Gaspar's coming on. And I don't know what the referee's giving here. The referee's going to drop the ball and just give it back to Arsenal because we were in possession before he stopped the game to allow Foyth to go off for Villarreal. So Leno there goes long, looking for Martinelli. He wins the header, actually. Man United now 3-2 up against Rome. What a game that is. Cavani scored his second. But it's still not a great result from, is it? But they are great away from home as well, actually, aren't they, Man United? So you can see them going over there and scoring, certainly. Anyway, we don't need to worry about that too much, do we? We need to try and see if we can get ourselves a goal in these last 20 minutes to try and keep ourselves in this semi-final, give us something to cling on to for next week. Xhaka there, a long ball again, looking for Martinelli. Does well, actually finds Pepe. There's a bit of space here on the far side for Bukayo Saka. He's got Callum Chambers, pulls it across the box. The goalie again was unsure, but the defender's there to clear it away. They've defended well at times, Villarreal, even though the goalkeeper has looked pretty suspect. Smith Rowe now. At least Arsenal having a bit of a go now with 10 men. Saka inside the penalty area. Goes down. He's going to give a penalty. The refs give the penalty. I'm sure it's going to go to VAR. It's the second penalty we've been given in this game. Let's have a look at the VAR. This could be a big moment in this semi-final. Bukayo Saka runs at the defender. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about this one. Oh. Actually, he did seem to pull his leg out of it, actually. And Saka left his leg in. We've seen those penalties given so many times against us. And this one, I think, has been given. I don't think VAR overall in this one, or are they? He still hasn't had the confirmation. Yes, he has. He's had confirmation. They've given the penalty. This is a big moment, this, actually. It's going to be Pepe to take this penalty. This is a big moment for Arsenal, an opportunity to give us this goal, which is going to give us a little bit of hope, maybe. An away goal, of course, so important in these games. The goalkeepers look pretty shaky all night. You watch him produce a save now. Pepe's been good from the spot, though. Generally puts these away, so I'm confident he's going to score. It's a big moment. It's 72 minutes gone. The referee's just going over to chat to the goalkeeper about being on his line. So there's pressure on Pepe here to score this, give us a lifeline in this semi-final with 10 men. Pepe, can he do it? And he has. He's put it down the middle. Down the middle. Goalie almost saved it with his legs, but he didn't. And it is 2-1. There seemed to be a little bit of afters there between one or two of the players. But Pepe scored the penalty down the middle. Tell you what, that isn't a penalty for me. Saka's dangled his leg and the defender actually pulled his leg away. I'd be absolutely devastated if that was against us. But anyway, we've had a few things go against us in the last few weeks, so we're not going to complain about that one, are we? I didn't think it was a penalty. I thought it was a bit of a dive from Saka. Well, not a dive. He used it well, didn't he? He left his leg in. But anyway, it's now 2-1, as you can see. And Shane says, yeah, so he's given us a lifeline in this game. Terry's excited as well. Now what we need to do is make sure we don't concede another one, because 2-1 is definitely a retrievable lead, or a retrievable deficit, sorry, for the second leg. But Villarreal coming forward again. Bit of space on this far side. Don't forget we have still got 10 men across to the far post, but Leno's got it. We just need to take the sting out of this game now. Try and see this out. I think the substitute of El Neni coming on is probably likely now. I think very, very soon to try and shore this up for us. 2-1 wouldn't be a disaster when you think how poor we've been in this game for long spells, and obviously we've been down to 10 men for quite a long time as well. Or maybe we can come back and get a 2-2 draw, but we'll see what happens. So there's just over 15 minutes of normal time remaining. We've got the away goal, crucial away goal. And I suppose, when you look at the circumstances of this game, a 2-1 defeat actually isn't a disaster, is it? As Kevin said before, he said the next goal was a winner in this tie. Well, we've got that next goal, but there's still 15 minutes left for there to be more goals. The one thing we can't afford to do is concede a third goal. It was a good penalty from Pepe, kept his nerve, went down the middle. Pressure penalties do tend to go down the middle. I remember, was it Ian Wright said that once, that if you notice, if there's a really important penalty in a game, quite often the taker will go down the middle, bearing in mind that they'll know the goalie will want to dive to try to make a save. And That's what Pepe did there. Maybe went to percentages, hoped the goalie would dive, which he did. The goalie dived down to his right, and Pepe just put it through down the middle. Done the job that was needed. And it is 2-1. It has given us a modicum of hope in this semi-final. And suddenly, from the depths of despair, we're pulling ourselves up again. And I think Pepe's won a free kick here, actually, on this near side. Or is it a throw? But anyway, it's 4-2 to Man United now. They've got a penalty of their own. Bruno Fernandes with his second of the night as well. So certainly a lot of goals in that game. But there are still 2 away goals for Roma, which could, of course, prove crucial in the end. 2 away goals for us would be nice. We did say 2 too early on, didn't we? So let's hope that we can find this second goal. Thomas Partey have a ball through looking for Martinelli, looking to get the wrong side of the defence, but they've dealt with it pretty well there. So they've defended pretty well at times when they've had to in this game. But that penalty has been our only shot on target so far. Oh, that was a bad foul there. It's Capoue, and Capoue is going to get us a red card as well. So Capoue's off. So that looks like Capoue's going to be sent off as well. He's injured, actually. He came together with Bukayo Saka. The referee's got a yellow card in his hand. I think Capoue's making more of this injury to try to distract away from the fact that he knows he's going to get a second yellow card. So it's going to be 10 aside, actually. Suddenly, it's opened up a little bit. Unai Emery doesn't look very happy on the side, but I think Capoue is about to be sent off anyway, even if he's injured and has to go off. I'm not sure if he's injured as much as he says he is, but the referee's got a yellow card in his hand. Is it for Saka or is it a second for Capoue? I think it's going to be a second for Capoue, if we're totally honest. Well, it has to be because Saka didn't do anything wrong there. And I don't even think he's injured, Capoue. I'm sure he's just pretending to be injured. It's just delaying the inevitable. He's definitely getting a second yellow card. And he's definitely going to be sent off. And it's definitely going to be 10 aside for the final 12 or 13 minutes of this game. Capoue is still pretending to be injured. But whatever the situation is, he's not going to be playing any further part in this game because he's been sent off. Well, he's about to be sent off his second yellow card. The referee is waiting until he gets up. And he's not changing his mind. He's held the yellow card in his hand by his side pretty much from the first seconds of this. Bukayo Saka is still not necessarily moving too freely either, but Capoue is now slowly going to get to his feet. And when he does, he's going to realise, or does he want a stretcher? He's going to get a stretcher. This is an unusual situation. A player going off on a stretcher that's actually going to be sent off at the same time because he's about to receive his second yellow card, which means that although he's got to go off anyway, he can't be replaced by a substitute. To be fair to him, it actually looked like he lost his footing, actually. And I don't know if he's pulled his hamstring at the same time. Actually, that is a little bit like the second yellow card for Dani Ceballos. I do think that's a little bit harsh because he did look as though he lost his footing, actually. Anyway, he's going to be stretchered off, and it looks like he's going to be sent off as well. It's been an eventful second half, hasn't it? But maybe not all for the right reason. Anyway, Pepe's penalty there, cool as you like, straight down the middle, took it really well. And it has given us a lifeline and given us a little bit of hope now that, you know, we're still in this semi-final. I'm sure we can't play as badly as this next week. Anyway, despite our terrible home form recently. Anyway, Capoue is about to be stretchered off the pitch. And I believe he's going to get a second yellow card as well as he departs, which I say is going to mean that he can't be replaced. And we're going to be evened up in terms of players on the pitch. And it is a second yellow card, and he has been sent off. So while Capoue leaves on a stretcher, he's also been red carded, which means he cannot be replaced. And Villarreal, who are making 2 substitutions anyway, are now going to be playing out the last 12 minutes plus stoppage time with 10 men along with us. And I say there's 2 substitutes are going to be made actually for Villarreal. It's the left back, Pedraza, who had a good first half actually, who's going off, and he's going to be replaced by the former Liverpool player Moreno, the former Liverpool left back, if you remember him. He's come on. And it's going to be Trigueros, who scored the first goal and gave away the penalty, who's being replaced as well by Gomez. Not the Liverpool player. So that's Villarreal's 2 substitutions there. They're going to maybe slightly change their shape. It's actually Man United got a 5th goal now. Pogba has scored for them, so it looks like they're probably going through. But now we've given ourselves a chance now with that 2nd goal and the red card. Anyway, it's a free kick comes in. Pablo Mari heads it across the goal and Arsenal put it in, but the referee's whistle's gone. It was Pepe at the far post, but it was it an offside or a foul in the build up to that from the free kick? Saka put the free kick in. I think there was a foul there on the edge of the box. Pablo Mari headed it across the goal. The referee's whistle had already gone before Pepe just tapped it in at the far post. But suddenly now it's game on, isn't it? 10 aside for these last 10 minutes or so. And maybe Arsenal feel as though we've got the upper hand a little bit now, having got that goal back when we were a player down. But suddenly things are looking a little bit brighter for us. Xhaka there, the ball up the line for Pepe, but he was offside, I think, anyway. And Kapure has just been led around the pitch, still on the stretcher. I don't know if he's aware he's been sent off. I think he probably is. He's obviously he's moved. It looked like it was maybe a hamstring injury, or possibly a knee. I'm not really sure exactly what it was, but anyway, it looked like it looked like he slipped actually, and I'm not sure if that was actually a second yellow card, but it was probably very similar to Ceballos' one, which was not necessarily a yellow card either, but he had got away with one just a little bit earlier. But anyway, it is now 10 aside, so the game might well open up in these last 10 minutes, and we may well see more goals. Let's hope there's at least one at the other end, because if we can get a 2-2 draw out of this, that would be a pretty good result. Anyway, it's currently Villarreal on the attack now, this near side, inside the penalty, a good defending from Pablo Mari, stood up, won the ball. But Arsenal have given it away cheaply inside the penalty area. Is it going to be a chance? Again, it was good defending that from Arsenal. Now maybe it's a counter-attack, is it? Bukayo Saka. He's got Martinelli in front of him and Pepe on this near side. He finds Pepe. That's a good ball, actually. Pepe can get this under control, which he managed to. He just managed to keep it in as well. Or did he? No, he didn't. Referee says no. It's gone out. Or was he offside? But anyway, it's a free kick to Villarreal. Counter-attack there from Arsenal. We've given the ball away originally just outside our penalty area. It looked as though we were in trouble, but we managed to get a counter-attack going with Saka. He found Pepe, and it's certainly been an interesting second half, hasn't it? Loads of stuff's gone on. But the important thing is we have got that goal back. The penalty from Pepe, maybe a little bit fortunate to get that penalty, if we're totally honest, but who cares? We'll definitely take it with all the stuff that we've had against us this season. And now let's see if we can get a second goal, which would be an amazing turnaround, really, in the circumstances, especially as we played with 10 men for a good chunk of the second half. And I say now Villarreal are down to 10 men as well. So it's Coquelin now on the ball for Villarreal. Again, they're playing at a slow pace when they've got it. Sometimes they've done that quite a lot in this game. But that's a good ball through there. Suddenly the winger's in space. Can he keep it in? He can. Can he get the ball across the goal? He's inside the penalty area now. We have to be careful. Good defending again from Pablo Mari. That's twice. Oh, actually, was that Granit Xhaka? I think that was Granit Xhaka, actually. He did really well there. But they've still got the ball, though. And again, it's played out wide to this near side. Ball played into the box. To turn there from Moreno, trying to wiggle some space. Plays it back out. He's done well, actually, there. Held the ball up well. Played into the box there. And is this an opportunity in the box for Villarreal? No, it's not. It's going to be a goal kick. It was Parejo there, burst into the box, but couldn't get his shot away. It was quite a good defending, actually, from Arsenal. It's gone out for a goal kick. And there's now, 6 minutes normal time remaining. It's going to be a big chunk of stoppage time, I would imagine, what with everything that's gone on in this game in terms of in the second half with penalties and red cards and all sorts of stuff gone on. So there's going to be at least 5 or 6 minutes, I would imagine. Martinelli hasn't really had much of an opportunity to get in this game yet, has he? But I guarantee he's going to score the equaliser. Anyway, Aubameyang's coming on. It's Saka going off. I don't know if it's a result of that knock that he just took. So I think Martinelli's going to maybe move over to the left, Pepe over to the right, and Aubameyang through the middle. That would be my guess. I think that's what's going to happen. So Aubameyang's now come on for Saka, who I think maybe still feeling the effects of that, the foul from Kapure that led to the red card. for Villarreal. And so I'm assuming Pepe will go to the right and Martinelli to the left. That seems to be what's happened. Maybe Aubameyang's going to come on and get the equaliser. Wouldn't that be after the season he's had, the criticism that he's taken? He's actually got rid of his haircut as well. He's gone back to his original hair that he had a few weeks ago. And Kevin says, no matter what happens now, let's not dress this up. This is a terribly bad season. No, it is. And let's face it, most of this game's been a terrible performance from Arsenal as well. You know, we've done better in the second half. We have to give credit to them for that. And we battled well with 10 men against 11. But yeah, it has been a terrible season. And unfortunately, this game's kind of summed it up in a way. Again, Thomas Partey there played the ball across the pitch to Rob Holding. I don't know if that was Rob Holding not able to control it or whether the ball just ran away from him. But anyway, it's a throw to Villarreal on the far side. There's 4 minutes of normal time remaining. I'm assuming there's going to be 4 or 5 minutes of stoppage time, you would imagine. It's important that we try and at least hang on to this and don't concede another goal. And if we can manage to somehow create one more opportunity, you know, with Aubameyang on the pitch, with Martinelli on the pitch, you never know. Aubameyang now getting his first opportunity to run at the goalkeeper there, but it's the goalkeeper that wasn't really sure there if it was going to run out, and he's put it out for a throw. He does look very young, the goalkeeper. I say he's not wearing number 1, so I'm assuming he's not their first choice. So Granit Xhaka plays it into Martinelli, gets it back. Can Arsenal get one more chance to I think the 2-2, and we'll be in control of this game, but we're offside over on that far side. It's a good switch of play actually from Granit Xhaka, but Callum Chambers was offside, I think. And here he was. He didn't look along the line, did he, at all there, Callum Chambers? But Villarreal trying to come forward again. It's difficult to know what to make of this result if it finishes 2-1. Obviously, we've got the away goal, which means we just need to win 1-0 at home. Can you see us keeping a clean sheet? I'm not sure I can, if I'm totally honest. And our home form has been so poor. But anyway, obviously, it could have been a lot worse. So I suppose we have to take that into account as well. But I'm not really sure what to make of it as a result, actually, where it leads the second leg or in the balance, obviously. It's going to be a tense night, isn't it, next week if this stays like this. Anyway, Villarreal coming forward again. They're still looking to try to get this third goal if they can, I'm sure. I'm sure they would more than take that, wouldn't they? Ball's currently on the edge of the penalty area. Arsenal got everybody back defending well. We're not really allowing them in. But we'll see what happens. They've still got the ball there. We haven't managed to really get it clear yet. And it's Gaspar there who's had the ball taken off him by Martinelli. And Arsenal now won a goal. That was good defending, actually. And Kevin says, the good news is, though, we have a lot stronger team in the second leg. Well, we should have. There seems to be a few players back from injury. We will have a slightly stronger team, maybe. And Danny Ceballos will be suspended, which is good because he obviously weakens us. I think it's important when we get Kieran Tierney fit, get Xhaka back into midfield. That's going to be a bonus, isn't it? Obviously, Aubameyang looks like he's fit now for the second leg. So that's a good sign as well. So, yeah, we will have a stronger team. But these players that we're talking about, these are players that have played in the Premier League this season. And, you know, all these home games that we've lost, they've played in a lot of them, haven't they? So, you know, let's be cautious as well. It's difficult to say, isn't it? A stronger team hasn't always produced stronger results and performances, has it, this season, unfortunately? We've just given the ball away sloppily there from Granit Xhaka, actually. I don't know if it's tiredness coming in. So we have played with 10 men. Martinelli's done really well there to work back and help out Granit Xhaka, which was a job Pepe was doing, actually, before he got switched over to the right, before that substitution of Aubameyang, who's also chasing down now. It was Aubameyang's introduction in the previous round, wasn't it, against Slavia Prague in the home leg that gave us the goal there. Let's hope he can maybe come up with a goal here, which could be so crucial. But Villarreal currently in possession of the ball, maybe looking for this third goal, which would definitely kill the tie off, maybe. Anyway, again, they're coming forward down this near side. There's a little ball into Moreno. He's done well, actually, to turn on the edge of the box. He couldn't quite thread the ball through, and now Thomas Partey and come forward. Can Arsenal get a breakaway? No, they can't. It's going to be a free kick instead to Villarreal. Aubameyang there, and he's going to get a yellow card as well. He's certainly not been shy of his cards, this referee, has he, tonight? think it was a little bit late there, slightly late from Aubameyang. I think the defender just got there in front of him. And he's only been on the field about 5 minutes, and he's already got. In fact, I don't even know what that's a yellow card for. Again, a bit like the one on Capu just before. He slipped over and slipped into him. Exactly the same. And I suppose maybe at least the ref's consistent because he did produce a yellow card for that as well. I don't think either of them perhaps were yellow cards, but anyway, it is a free kick to Villarreal, which was the right decision. He's clipped into the box there. Thomas Partey wins a header well, and Villarreal picks up a loose ball though. Good defending there from Xhaka, but he's given away a free kick. Was that a free kick? I thought it was just good defending actually. He's done well actually, Granit Xhaka, in this game at left back again. Apart from he's grown into the game. At the beginning, the winger there caused him a lot of problems, but he's done well against him since, and he's had a decent second half against him there. But he has given away a free kick, a little bit harsh actually. But we are going to have 5 minutes of stoppage time, like I thought. We've just gone into that now. In fact, we're almost a minute into it. I wasn't looking at the time. Anyway, it's a free kick to Villarreal again, played into the box. Arsenal haven't really cleared. It's come to the far side. Shot comes in, it's deflected, but it looks like there was an offside somewhere. And we've got away with that one. It was the big defender again, Albiol, who scored the second goal. And he was offside there. Yeah, they went in too early. And it is a free kick to Arsenal, which Bernd Leno's going to take. He's 6-2 to Man United now. Greenwood's got a 6th goal. They're surely in the final. But who are they going to be playing? We're not going to find out until next week, are we? That's for dead certain. But what do Arsenal do now in these final sort of 3.5, 4 minutes of stoppage time? Do we just hang on to a 2-1 defeat and think, you know what, let's take that and try and turn it around next week? Or do we still try and maybe get this equaliser? But as far as I'm aware, we've only had that one shot on target in this entire game, which was a penalty. So the likelihood of us maybe getting a second goal does seem quite unlikely. Anyway, it's Villarreal coming forward at the moment. The most important thing more than anything is that we don't let them score another one, because 3-1 would be a lot more of a difficult lead to turn around next week, wouldn't it? I say, bearing in mind our terrible home form. But Villarreal are still looking for that goal. Of course, bearing in mind, remember, it is 10-a-side in this game. Both players have had a placement off in the second half. Ceballos for us and Capoue for them. Again, Granit Xhaka does well. Good defending. Villarreal wanted a penalty. A header comes in, but it's a weak header, and it would be an easy save for Bernd Leno. Villarreal wanted a penalty for handball, but I don't think you can give a penalty for that, to be honest. The ball was kicked straight onto him and he was on the floor. Russ is in the chat, good evening. Well, it's not really a good evening, is it, at the moment? It's not really a good evening at all. It's been quite stressful and distressing. But anyway, it did hit Granit Xhaka's arm there as he was getting up, but you can't really give a penalty for that, can you? Or the game will definitely be gone. But anyway, Arsenal now looking to maybe have a final attack, maybe try and get one more chance to get the draw, which would be a massive result to take back. Bearing in mind how this game's gone, I still would have took a high-scoring draw, and 2-2 would certainly do, especially as we were 2-0 down quite early on in this game anyway. We don't seem to have a lot of urgency to try and get the ball forward, it has to be said. So maybe we've settled for a 2-1 defeat, which in normal circumstances you'd probably not be happy with. But I think in the European semi-final, with an away goal and just a 1-0 lead. Oh, hang on, we've got a chance. Aubameyang's got a chance. Oh, that's a good save. Oh, right at the death there. That was the chance we were waiting for. It was a slip there by the defender. Aubameyang found himself, and it was a ball from Thomas Partey. It was a slip from the defender. Good touch from Aubameyang. Again, he slipped over as he shot, actually, and it was a good save by the goalkeeper. And it's gone out for, is it going to be a corner? It's going to be a corner for Arsenal in the last minute. Almost the equaliser there. Right at the death. We're in a 4th minute of stoppage time. Good save, actually, from the goalkeeper. He's looked a little bit shaky, but he had to save that, and he did. And Arsenal making 2 substitutions now. Pepe and Smith Rowe are coming off. I saw Willian was one coming on. El Neni. Willian and El Neni are the 2 subs that was it Terry Elliott said we'd be making. He said on 70 minutes. It's actually on 94. But anyway, they have both come on. And it looks as though we are settling for a 2-1 defeat, which slightly annoys me. But anyway, I suppose in the circumstance of the game, I think at half-time we'd have probably took a 2-1 defeat, wouldn't we? But we have got a corner in the final minute of stoppage time, which Willian's going to, his first action in this game for Willian's going to be to take this corner. Imagine if we score from this. That would be incredible, wouldn't it? But this is going to be probably our last attack. Willian takes his corner. And the opposed header comes in, but it's over the top of them. I think it was Rob Holding got over the top of it, or was it Callum Chambers? They both sort of went for it there. But this was a chance there for Aubameyang. A lovely little turn, actually. He slipped as he shot. I don't think that actually made a lot of difference. It was on target, and it was a half-decent save, actually. But it looks like it's going to finish 2-1. Kevin says there, should play better in second leg because we know what we have to do from the start. No, we do, and that's true. But our home form has been so poor. Equally, Villarreal know what they've got to do, which is keep a clean sheet, I suppose. But anyway, we'll see what happens. I'm not confident with us at home at the moment. That's the problem. And there goes the full-time whistle. It's finished here in Spain. Villarreal 2, Arsenal 1. I honestly don't know what to make of that, if I'm totally honest. The first half was quite frankly dreadful. We were 2-0 down. Could quite easily have been more than 2-0 down. And we then had Dani Ceballos sent off early in the second half for a second yellow card. Things were looking a bit bleak at that stage, and the final looks a long way away. But we did then get a penalty for a foul on Bukayo Saka, which looked quite soft, if we're totally honest. But it did go to VAR, and VAR kept the decision. Pepe took the penalty and scored. Villarreal were then down to 10 men as well. When Capoue got a second yellow card, he actually got injured in the foul and went off on a stretcher. And after that, it was just a matter of whether or not we could maybe hang on for the 2-1, which isn't a disaster, as Mark C says there in the chat. Not quite a disaster it could have been exactly, but and Terry says there, why didn't we chuck 2 centre backs on for the corner? Well, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, it isn't a disaster it could have been, let's be honest. But next week is going to be a very, very tense game, isn't it? A 1-0 win puts us through, let's remember. But can you see us keeping a clean sheet at home? When was the last time we kept a clean sheet at home against anybody? I honestly can't remember. We're always likely to do some stupid mistakes as we did tonight. And you can see the threat that they carry, certainly on the counter-attack. Bear in mind, we are going to have to score next week. So we are going to have to push men forward and attack. And it's going to leave us maybe open sometimes for counter-attacks as well. So it's going to be an interesting game next week. It's going to be very interesting to see how that works out for us. But after that first half, I think we probably do need to be reasonably happy that we're still in it, because we are still in it. We've still got a very good chance of getting through to the final. Man United look as though they're through, having won 6-2 tonight. They need to lose 4-0 away to get knocked out, don't they? Shane's not very happy there in the chat. He says players and managers should be embarrassed. Well, yeah, we kind of got away with it a little bit, didn't we? Because of the way the second half played out, actually. We had started the second half better than the first half. We'd been a lot more aggressive and took the game to them. And then Ceballos got sent off. And at that point, I think we'd all have took a 2-0 defeat, possibly. But we did manage to get ourselves back, get a goal back, didn't we, with the penalty. And then, of course, they were down at 10 men as well. And yes, it wasn't a great performance. Let's not try and kid ourselves. And, we've got a lot of work to do in the second leg, and we're going to have to play a lot better. But it was certainly, as Mark, I totally agree, it certainly could have been a lot worse. A lot worse. And we've maybe got away with one a little bit there, perhaps to a certain degree. But sometimes in cup competitions, that's what you have to do. But once again, another win for Villarreal. They've won every single knockout game in this competition this season. So we're going to have to put an end to that run next week, aren't we? A draw's not even good enough now. We have to win. We haven't won at home for ages. We haven't got another home game either, because we're away at the weekend as well, aren't we? So how confident am I of us going through? Not very confident, if I'm totally honest with you. Not really confident at all. But at least we've got a chance now. We have given ourselves a chance, and we need to score. And if we score and don't concede, then we've done it, haven't we? But I think there's certainly a lot left in this tie. Yeah, I think both managers, both teams will feel that they've got a good chance of getting through now. And it'd be interesting to see how next week plays out. It's going to be, if we thought that was tense and nervy, which it was at times, next week is going to be 10 times worse, isn't it? Because of the way it's set up. It's set up perfectly, isn't it? It's a sort of game where if fans are in the ground, that's a night at the Emirates that you would just love to be at. A night where so evenly poised. The semi-final will be a fantastic night, wouldn't it? What an atmosphere there would have been at the Emirates next week. It's just a shame that there's no fans are going to be there, because it would be perfect, wouldn't it? But I suppose we have to be reasonably happy that we are still in this game, because at half time I couldn't see a way back for us. I've got to be honest, I couldn't, in that way we played in that first half. But it was better in the second half. We've got away with it slightly. I think Arteta's maybe got a little bit fortunate, in many ways, but maybe he deserves that, because we haven't had a lot go our way this season, have we? So it's maybe been a little bit overdue. And let's hope that we can maybe get a little bit more fortune in that second leg and get the job done. But looking at the way Man United have done tonight, the final certainly not going to be a walk in the park anyway, is it? But we need to get there first. And to do that, we're going to have to win next week. We're going to have to score. We're going to have to win. And, hope that we can do enough. But it is going to be certainly a tense, nervy 90 minutes, isn't it? A week today. So, I think I need a little bit of reflection on this game. I will be putting out a video tomorrow, a review video of this game, and also as well looking ahead to the Newcastle game. It's a busy weekend for me, actually, with us playing Newcastle on Sunday. I'm on the Toon Review show tomorrow. I've then got a show on my channel at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, the warm-up show. I've got a Newcastle fan, Barry, coming on, and Melvin as well, so that's going to be good. Then on Saturday, I'm on another Newcastle, I'm on Barry's channel, actually, and I'll probably be on John Sinclair's channel as well. So I'm going to be busy, actually, over the next couple of days doing shows ahead of the Newcastle game. Obviously, a lot to talk about with this game as well. So I will be doing I'll put out my review video of this tomorrow. I'll have a little bit of a reflection on it and listen to Arteta's thoughts as well. No doubt he'll say that we were unlucky and deserved to win, as he normally does. But I will listen to a bit of, some response as well from the managers, and as well, and see, and maybe watch bits of the game again and try and get a little bit of a video put together for that tomorrow. It's going to be difficult, isn't it? But I say there's loads coming up on the channel anyway. So I will be doing a live show tomorrow, 8 o'clock. That is on the channel. Please tune in for that. I say the Newcastle warm-up show. We'll be talking about this game. We're talking about the owners. Of course, Newcastle got their own problems with their owners as well, haven't they? So no doubt that'll be a big topic to talk about as well. And of course, a match review as well for Sunday's game, which isn't as important for either team now as it was. Obviously, Newcastle look as though they're pretty much safe now. We don't have a lot to play for in the league, and I'm not sure how seriously we'll be taking that game in terms of team selections as well, but we'll see what happens with that. So that's on tomorrow at 8 o'clock. And then on Sunday, I will be doing a watch along of the Newcastle game. Probably be a fairly relaxed atmosphere from my point of view. I don't want to lose them, obviously, but we don't need to worry too much, do we, about the result too much. I think he's going to rest a lot of players and stuff, but we'll get into that, in the next couple of days. As I say, obviously, we'll talk about that tomorrow night as well with the show. So thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for your comments in the chat as well. Shade and Terry, Mark C, of course, Russ was in as well, and a few other people earlier as well. Ender, of course. Hope you, Kevin as well. Yeah. So, I mean, we got away with one, didn't we? I think a little bit. But at the end of the day, we're still in it, and that's the main thing. I think in the semi-final, 2 legs, your first leg away, you've got to keep yourself in the game, and that's what we've done. It's half-time, technically, and we're 2-1 down. Not a disaster, let's be honest. Yes, we are going to have to play a lot better next week. We know that. We've got to win and see what happens. But I'm certainly feeling a little bit more optimistic now than I was at half-time. But I'm still not 100% confident that we're going to go through, I've got to be honest. But anyway, we will see what happens. But yeah, loads of stuff coming up over the next week. Obviously, we'll be building up to the second leg as well. So thanks for everybody for watching. Thanks for your comments. I say tune in tomorrow night, 8 o'clock for my live show, the Newcastle warm-up show. And I'm on a few Newcastle channels as well. I'll put all the links on Twitter and stuff as well tomorrow and stuff like that. So you guys can tune in as well and join me on the other channels as well. Looking forward to being on those channels as well to chat to my Geordie friends, which will be really good fun. Looking forward to that. So it's going to be a busy weekend, and I need a calm down. I need a cup of tea and a lie down after that. Really, that was pretty tense and exciting. But yeah, anyway, we've got away with it. As finished, Villarreal 2, Arsenal 1. Not a disastrous result. Terry says, you did well there, Richard, to be honest. That couldn't have been easy, talking your way through for that 90+ minutes and keeping us entertained. Well done. All in the chat. But yeah, exactly. And thanks to you guys in the chat as well. I mean, it was fun, I suppose, in a masochistic kind of a way, as watching Arsenal has been much of the season, hasn't it? To be honest, let's be fair. Most games have been a bit stressful and like that. But yeah, thanks to you guys. Yeah, please give it a like as well if you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I will see you guys tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on this channel, and on the Toon review at 6:30. I'll put a link out to that as well later on when the link goes out for that. And yeah, I don't know what to make of this, to be honest. I really don't. It's a typical sort of performance for this season, isn't it? But anyway, it's finished. Villarreal 2, Arsenal 1. All to play for next week, isn't it? What a night that's going to be. I'll be doing a watch along of that as well, and I'm sure that will be entertaining and stuff like that as well. So, but loads coming up before that. Look out for my review videos, which hopefully I'll have out before lunchtime tomorrow, and then the warm-up show for Newcastle at 8 o'clock. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support of the channel. Please like before you go. Please subscribe if you haven't done so, and stay tuned for more great stuff. And I'll go off to breathe now, lie down, and yeah, time to reflect on an up and down night. Let's be honest. Lots went on, lots to talk about on the video tomorrow, I'm sure. So look out for that. And in the meantime, of course, as always, come on, you Gunners, come on. Let's be better next week, eh? We're close to the final, though, aren't we? We are close. Let's be honest. It's there. We can. It's there. That close. It's that close. Come on, we can do it. But please play better, please. See you tomorrow night, guys.